Good afternoon to all.
Hi, sir.
Hi, sir.
Oh, hey,
Good evening.
how are you today? Hey, you're muted. You're muted.
Oh, so
Yeah,
sorry. This is the first thing that we have to supposed to check. How are you, sir? I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. How are you?
good. I'm good. Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you. So actually, we would like to start the journey. So there are a lot of people who are watching this live, and
Right.
we are taking the step towards the second day of proceeding with our Guinness World Record event, AI for India 1.0. And we are very much honored to have one of the partners who are really innovative in the way how today's AI is working, the machine learning world. So we are happy to have you as a partner. Thank you so much for that, sir. And
Pleasure is ours.
so thank you so much, and thank you for yesterday's session too, for participating. And I hope I would like to introduce you first. Then we would like to have Cheladurai. Hi, Cheladurai.
Hello,
He's,
ma'am.
he's Jashuran. Cheladura is his father.
Oh, sorry. So normally it happens in foreign, they call by the second name. Fine. Guys, this is going to be the second day session. We are starting our guest speak and guest speeches. Today, we will be having nearly like three speeches, three talks, three different people who will be bringing in a lot of insights, lot of knowledge sharing will be done today. And we are happy that we are starting with our own partners here for AI for India. So thank you so much, Sudarshan sir. Sudarshan sir, to talk about him, he's a chief scientific officer, and he has worked with a lot of companies, lot of giants. He has given us consulting work. He has also worked with the IITM, and for past 3 years before he joined Buddy AI. So we are happy to have you, sir. We would like to take this session, and with introduction, we would like to know what the session will be like and how it is gonna be. So I would like to have a small introduction about yourself, because yesterday we missed to do that, and we will proceed further. Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Sure. Jashuran, you want to set the context?
Okay, so this will be a informal talk. So people call it as fireside chat. So there will be a moderator and a guest. So the guest for today is Mr. Sudarshan Santhiappan. So I will be the moderator, and I have compiled a set of questions from various forums and other blogs and about people who are getting started with data science. So I will be posing those questions to Sudarshan, and he will be glad to share his experiences with us in a way. So this will be so interactive and not be a monologue.
That's
Yeah.
really good to know, because every time when we have some thoughts like this is the question we would like to ask the speaker, but unfortunately a lot of people would not want to come in front. So this is a good thing that we are taking the session forward. Thank you, sir. So I think over to you guys.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. So this is just a reminder of whatever I said. So this is a fireside chat with Sudarshan Santhiappan, and the title of this chat would be like, "Are you new to data science and how to get started?" So introducing myself first, I'm Jashuran Cheladurai, and I'm a research scientist at Buddy.ai, and also I'm a PhD scholar from IIT Madras. So with me today, we have Mr. Sudarshan Santhiappan, Chief Scientific Officer at Buddy.ai, as our guest. And with this session, I hope we will be getting to know some informative things and try to get answers to most of the doubts that you might have. So I have compiled a list of questions that I have encountered with my interactions with people who are new to data science and from several other forums and blogs. So today during our chat, we will discuss the common questions, and Sudarshan would love to share his experiences with us. So shall we get started?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Ready.
okay, that's nice. So the very first question that anyone who is new to data science or machine learning has is that how is it different from the normal programming that I've been doing since college or from school days? So in my school days of college, I have been writing C or C++ programs and then compiling it and running it, and it has been giving me the outputs. So now when I see this new data science or machine learning programs, I feel the same. So they are rather written in Python or some other interpreted language, and people are saying that this is machine learning. So can you enlighten us on how machine learning is different from the normal traditional programming that we have been doing?
Okay, see, programming wise, okay, if you look at programming as the point of discussion, there is no difference. So when you do your C++ program for sorting a bunch of numbers versus when you write the same program in Python, Python program does not become data science. So please stay informed there. See, the difference is more towards what is the objective. So what are you trying to solve, or what is the problem you're trying to address? Right. So if you have a problem which involves processing data, taking insights from the data, or generating, let's say, generating the ability to take decisions based on the data, then you are somewhere getting aligned to data science and AI applications. But programming wise, so the very act of writing software code, there is no difference between you writing the piece of code in C++ versus you writing the piece of code in Python using sklearn. So whatever you are doing in C++, you can do the same thing in Python, and whatever you are doing in Python, you can do the same thing in C++. I mean, that's the same. So programming language does not decide or define your capability. No. It is the ability to think pragmatically, the ability to think procedurally. That is what is going to make you different from a traditional programmer. So a traditional programmer has a specific problem with a specific output. So you have a problem in your hand, you have an expected output, and you try to write a piece of code that takes you from your input to the output. Right. So the same logic applies in machine learning tasks also. So in machine learning tasks, you have inputs and you have expected outputs, and you go from input to output using software. And so programming wise, they are no different. But the transition from input to output, is that based on models? Is that based on mathematical and scientific models, or is it based on a simple algorithm? Right, a deterministic algorithm. So that makes the difference. So it's kind of a deep question. Maybe down the line you will get answers. I mean, with more questions and answers, I think you'll get answers for this particular stuff. So if you want to compare it on the programming ground, there is no difference between C++ programs and Python programs. No.
Okay, so that was a very insightful answer. So another thing is the explosion of jargons to someone who is new to this field. So can you help us understand the differences between these different jargons, data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence?
Okay, so yeah, this is one standard issue everybody faces. So people use all these jargons, but people use it interchangeably. So that is what makes me feel little bad, because each of these jargons have a very definite and different meaning. For instance, the word AI has been there forever, since I was born, probably, or even before I was born. The AI as a conceptual idea was always existing. So humans, the intelligence that humans have is called the natural intelligence. And anything that is created synthetically is called artificially intelligent. Okay, so intelligence created synthetically is artificial intelligence, and intelligence that occur naturally by evolution, that is called the natural intelligence. So there was always a curiosity to create artificially intelligent things and beings when humans realize that they are intelligent. Right, they want to see if they can make others intelligent. The others could be humans, or others could be machines or things. So making others intelligent is the act of teaching. Right, you propagate your knowledge and your wisdom to your students, and that is the act of teaching. But if you want to make other things intelligent, so that is called the field of data science today as we speak. So the intent for AI was always there. Right, and then came the word called data mining. So that was popular in the last 2 or 3 decades, because I started my career as a text mining scientist. Right, so I did a lot of mining experiments on text data and text corpus. So mining is there for the past several decades, and mining is the act of extracting information that are obscured in data piles. So if information is hidden, or if information is latent in a corpus of data, then the ability to extract those information from those large volumes of data is called data mining. right? And this word is also slightly ancient. And then comes the word called machine learning, right? Machine learning, in my opinion, is the ability to learn and in mapping between input and output. That's all. It's basically a function learning. I mean, if you learn how to write a function that translates input to output, and you are actually doing machine learning in some sense or the other. So the generalist definition of machine learning, or a layman's definition of machine learning, is a bunch of tools, right? Machine learning allows you to experience a bunch of tools that allow you to understand data and build models on data and make predictions on data, and maybe put data to use. Let's put it that way. So if these are tools that allow you to put data to use, so that that battery of methods are compiled under this topic called machine learning. And deep learning is another jargon which has become very popular in the last decade. And deep learning is a specialization within machine learning. It's a subset of machine learning which focuses all the attention on one specific technique called neural networks. So machine learning allows you to play with multiple techniques, and as I call it, tools. So the tools which are based on neural networks, right? The glorified version of those tools will come under the deep learning paradigms, right? So deep learning by itself has become huge now, because the number of tools that are created based on neural nets are growing. So that's why it has become a separate toolkit by itself. But nonetheless, it is a subset of machine learning, right? And finally, data science. So in my opinion, data science is a program, or it's a study, or I would say it's a discipline of study. Like the way we learn electrical engineering or computer science engineering or mechanical engineering, where you learn every aspect of how to work in an electrical world or a mechanical world or a civil world or a structural world, right? You learn different theories, you learn different techniques, you learn different tools, and you learn how to solve problems. And it allows you to train yourself to have a journey ahead on that particular domain. So likewise, data science is a field of study, or it's I would say it's a degree program, in my opinion. It's a program or a degree or diploma program, which allows you to play with data. So it gives you all the tools and all the arsenal to play with data and make data useful, right? Extract insights from it, and make data useful. That's the idea, generally speaking. So all these jargons have different and definitive meanings. So to summarize all of them in one slide, so in my opinion, AI is the final target. So I call AI as the goal. So I want to make smart machines, or I want to create artificially intelligent things and beings, whether the being is a natural being or a synthetic man-made being, doesn't matter. So AI is the goal, or intelligence is the goal, and data science is the path. So it is the path towards that goal. And machine learning and deep learning are tools that you learn in your path. So these are tools that allow you to tread the path to reach your goal, which is artificial intelligence. So that is how I would understand it. And data mining, again, will be treated as a subset of data science, which allows you to discover information that are originally obscured in nature. Yeah, that's how I'll put it.
Yeah, that answer was like very interesting and also thought-provoking at the same time. So thanks for that. So another thing that comes up with artificial intelligence or data science is that the artificial intelligence replacing humans in their jobs. So you take some news article, and the one thing that always occurs in this news articles is that some percent of the human jobs might be replaced by AI bots or something like that. So what are your thoughts on that? So how far or how near are we to that?
See, this has been happening since beginning, right? So probably the industrial revolution, since that time, this has been happening. So let's put it this way. Intelligence replacing jobs. Doesn't matter if it is artificial intelligence or natural intelligence. So let's say from an employer's point of view, I prefer hiring one intelligent human instead of hiring a team of not so intelligent workers, as long as the deliverable is the same, right? So instead of getting the work done by 10 people in a traditional hardworking style, If the same work can be done by one human being in a smart working style, I don't mind paying the same cost that I was paying the team to this individual. Because dealing with 10 human beings is much more troublesome than dealing with one human being, generally speaking. So from an employer's point of view, or on practical grounds, it is always meaningful to replace redundant labor with smart labor. It always makes sense, because it allows me to control the cost, it allows me to control the quality, and it allows me to control deliverables and my productivity. Right? Too many cooks spoil the broth. It's a standard proverb, right? So I want only one cook who can do 10 people's job, right? So this is happening since beginning, since people started working. Now the problem is the intelligent being is becoming a machine or a system, and the problem, the more graver problem is, this intelligent human being can learn fast, can learn the skill faster. That is the biggest problem. If I put a smart human being, the smart human being might have taken 10 years to learn that skill. But if that job is replaceable by a machine, the machine learns that art or that skill within an year or less of effort. So that is the challenge. So the replacement, we should not understand it as a replacement of jobs. Rather, we should understand it as displacement of jobs. So there used to be a job called a typewriter 20 years back or 30 years back, right? Right now, we don't have typewriters. The machine itself is obsolete now. So everybody has moved to computers, and if the typewriter as a job exists, but the typewriter as a machine is gone. Right? And that is gone. And people who used to do this lower, higher, those things are all gone, because we have, help when you start typing. Machines autocomplete your statements. So typing has become simpler, and error correction becomes easier. Grammar check is so simpler today. In the olden days, if you make a mistake, you'll have to strike it and do it from scratch. Now it is not that. So if you say computers killed all the stenographers, no. Computers displaced them, right? They became probably secretaries, right? Secretaries to have more skill, more roles to play, instead of just being a typewriter. So they changed from being just a typewriter to something more than a typewriter, right? So intelligence will always displace people. And the message that we'll have to take home is that I cannot take the risk of not upgrading myself. That is the message we should all take home. So I should keep upskilling myself. I should keep reskilling myself so that I stay relevant in the market always. This is the message we'll have to take. Otherwise, you will definitely be replaced or displaced by another human being or a machine. Right? So don't take it. Yeah, go on.
So that is one of the questions that we have. So maybe we can take that later. You can continue now. So.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, don't think that you are not replaceable. Everything in this world is replaceable. Everything is dispensable. So have that mindset. I am replaceable. I am dispensable, right? Have that thought in your mind, so that motivates you to be, to upskill yourself, so that you stay relevant and you stay hot in the market, right? And the only way to do it is show curiosity and keep learning, continue your learning process. That is the only way you can stay afloat in a very competitive world. Today, we are competing against humans. Maybe tomorrow we'll be competing against machines.
Yeah,
right. So we'll have to stay afloat by keeping ourselves upskilled and reskilled. Yes.
Nice. So we'll move on to a different set of questions now. So this is for someone who is like watching this video to get started with machine learning. So this is the $1 billion or $1 million question they usually have. So I am interested in learning data science or machine learning. So how do I get started with it?
Yeah. See, it depends on what you want to become in the future, right? So if you want to start into data science, the first thing is, curiosity. You need to have the curiosity or the interest and enthusiasm to accept that as a new skill, right? So if you want to take data science as a career, That is the question, right? I mean, someone who wants to take data science as a career, right? So if you want to take data science as a career, and the first thing that you'll have to ask yourself is, how do you see yourself? What do you see yourself down the line? Right? Don't take this decision because everybody is doing that. Don't do that. So I would say you should probably plan backwards. And you should not say that I will do this course and I will choose a job that I might get because of doing this course. That's a very bad style of deduction. I would say you set a target. I mean, I want to be like this, or I want to be this down the line, 2 years, 3 years down the line. In order to achieve the target, what am I supposed to train myself? What are the certificates I should have, or what is the degree I should have? I think you should start planning backwards. If you do that, your goal is very clear, because that is the first thing you are setting for yourself. And second thing is, you can take help from others because you are giving a target for others to answer on. See, it is very hard to answer a question if somebody comes and asks me, sir, I am going to do this course. Tell me what are the job opportunities I have after doing this course. That's a very hard question to answer. But on the other hand, sir, I want to become a data scientist. Tell me what are the courses I should study. And it is very easy for anybody to offer help when you need help. But if you say, I don't have any choices in life, I will pick whatever that comes. It's very hard for answering such questions for yourself and for others. So I would say, always start planning backwards. Set a target. You set a target that I want to become a data analyst, I want to become an AI programmer, or I want to become a data engineer, or I want to become a scientist. Some target you set for yourself. And there are a lot of training programs which are available for a fee and for free. And you can pick some of them to understand the fundamentals, the landscape, right? So if you're just an enthusiast, that's not enough. Interest is not enough. You'll have to put the effort. So what I mean by effort is, do some study on the landscape. So what is there in the world of data science? I mean, what are other people studying? What are the courses they study? What are the skills that they gain? So study the landscape. Understand what are the various efforts that you will have to take to set data science as a career. So understand the landscape first. So when you understand the landscape, you can ask yourself, am I ready to take these challenges? If the answer is yes, right? If the answer is yes, decide your goal. Study the landscape, step 1. Decide the goal, step 2. Right? Talk to people who have reached the goal. Right? Talk to the people who have reached their goal or who are very near their goal. Talk to 2 or 3 fellows in your friend circle. I'm sure in your friends circle, somebody would have done that. Talk to them. Or ask questions in forum. Quora has a lot of answers around it. And you can ask questions in Quora-like forums, or read answers given by others. So understand the transition from your point to your goal, right? And based on whatever information you collect, you can decide how do you have to reskill yourself or upskill yourself. Maybe in terms of doing some certification courses on the fundamentals of data science, fundamentals of machine learning, fundamentals of math, and programming fundamentals and whatnot. So you can prepare yourself. You can prepare yourself and move from just being an enthusiast to become a novice practitioner. Move from an enthusiast to a novice practitioner. And when you are a practitioner, what I mean by practitioner is you play with some assignments yourself. That is what I mean by practitioner. And you are still a novice, that's okay. That's okay. You're still a beginner, that's okay. But you have some practical experience in playing with simple things. And that time, you will have to consider reaching out to people for external help. When say an internship or a remote problem assignment. Sir, give me a problem, I will try to work on it, and I will take help if I get stuck. And I'm sure a lot of fellows in the industry are willing to help because they got the help when they wanted, so they are willing to give it back. So there are a lot of fellows who are in the industry who's willing to help. You just have to ask, and ask politely. That's all. That is all it takes. And if you do that, they will help you move from a novice programmer to a novice practitioner to a better practitioner. And when you reach that goal of you are a practitioner, right? You have become a practitioner. This is the time you can decide to change your job. right? Maybe an entry-level job. If you are young, you can take an entry-level job, and and then the company will take you forward. I mean, they will set the career path for you. Or if you want to wait further, right, you have to transition from being a practitioner to an expert practitioner, where you have solved some problems. Right, you have solved some problems. For example, there are these Kaggle competitions, right? Kaggle is a competition platform where you can add yourself as a participant and try solving those problems. Right. See, just doing the older Kaggle competitions again yourself is not the expert setting. It is the practitioner setting. When you are an expert, it means you have solved some problems yourself. Right. And when you have solved problems yourself, then many employers will be very, very, very willing to hire you, because you have demonstrated your skill already in some sense. There'll be a lot of employers who will show interest in hiring you. Then getting a job becomes easier once you become the expert stage. Right. Then take life as it comes. I think I've just given you an outline,
Yes,
but you can customize it. Yeah.
Okay. So another relevant question in this area is like, some people who are planning to do a transition from the current domain that they are in. So I have heard people say that I have 5 years of experience in software testing or some other field, say like that. So what are the things that they should think about, or what are the choices that they have to make before doing a transition to data science as a field, or taking data science as their primary field?
Yeah. This is another standard problem we face today. See, there are two types of people who transition. One is people who transition from one role to another role. So, for example, if somebody is working as a software developer who wants to also become a data analyst, right? Data analyst or data analytics specialist. That's kind of an easy transition, because many people do that. But the other group of transition is I am an energy engineer, or I am a civil engineer, or I'm a mechanical engineer. I want to transition to data science, right? So that is kind of seen as a slightly harder transition in today's world. See, you can transition from being a mechanical engineer to a data scientist in the mechanical engineering field. That is a natural transition. Let's say you are working in an industry, or let's say a manufacturing plant, and where you are working as a mechanical engineer, and if you want to transition within the industry, not necessarily the same company, within the industry, from being only the mechanical engineer to a person who's mechanical engineer plus a data analyst, that is natural, and it is within home transition. But the problem is there are not many companies who do both. That is, there are very few companies in the manufacturing field who are doing large-scale data science adaptation. But the smaller industries or the medium-sized industries are still consuming data science as a product or service. So there it is kind of harder. So those people, they want to completely switch from mechanical core or electrical core to IT, which apparently is the home for data science. But in my opinion, the home for data science is not IT. Data science is supposed to be an allied course. It is supposed to be an add-on skill along with the core. See, only data science skill without domain experience is not very useful. It's not very useful, because the moment you join any company with your data science certification, you will have to understand their domain first. You'll have to spend some time. You'll have to learn their domain first. Only after you learn the domain or get the domain experience, you become a relevant analyst or an analytics specialist in their domain. So data science without domain is useless. So you have a choice. Either you learn the domain ahead of time yourself and then go as a ready resource or ready-made resource when you join a company, or if the company is willing to give you the training on domain, but you just have to be a data scientist to get in there, that is also fine. Right. So when you transition from your current role to data science, don't think that you are changing your job. Just remove that mindset. You think that you are adding data science as an additional skill before you switch your job, I mean. So when you are in the job and when you want to make a switch to data science, don't give up the job and then go for learning data science. Don't do that. in your current job, in your current role, consider data science as an additional skill. First, see it as a within home transition. Explore that first. Because sometimes you may get lucky and stay in the same field, same domain on which you are already an expert. You are a domain expert trying to learn data science, which is a good call. Rather than domain experts, data scientists learning domain experience. That is the next level. Okay. Since you already have the domain experience, learning data science because you are enthusiastic about it will make you a great asset for the company. If they have plans to venture into data science, or you can change to another company which has a place for data science practice, but still mechanical engineering or civil engineering, your home department. So consider that as an allied skill first. If that is not working out completely, then only you should switch, or you should decide to switch your domain completely to a new domain. And remember, when you're switching to a new domain, you have a very, very steep learning curve of getting the domain experience. Remember that. That's a risk you'll have to always take. And I'm not scaring you, but what I'm saying is you have to tone down your cost sometimes. Let's say if you're drawing 15 lakhs in your current job, you are an electrical engineer, right? And you want to switch to data science because you don't see any progress or prospect in your current job, and you want to switch to data science. And when you go and join a data science company, if you ask for a 30% hike on your 15 lakhs, they will not even consider you as a candidate, because from their point of view, you are a fresher. Correct. So you may have electrical domain experience, but you have moved to another domain where electrical domain experience is not useful. They are going to see you as a fresher. And now the choice in front of you is, do you want to tone yourself down and start a new career into data science, or you don't want to give up your current expectations and lifestyle? So that choice you will always have. When you are young and when you have less liabilities, you can make that choice. But when you're experienced, let's say you are 10 years, 15 years experience, you want to change your domain, that's going to be very costly. So I would say, don't try that. Try to make the switch within your home department itself. Because if you switch across a new department, then you may have to compromise on your cost, which may not be practical for most of the people. You may have loans and all that. So there are a lot of things you'll have to consider before you decide to make a switch. And as I said before, study the landscape. What are the things that you have to learn? What is your learning curve? What is your steep learning curve is going to be? Can you dedicate your time and yourself to undergo that rigorous training? Do you have the leverage, or do you have the luxury to tone down your cost and start a new career in a different field? All these questions you need to have answers before you decide to switch. Because after you made the switch, there might be a situation of there is no go back, right? You might be stuck in the new area. We don't know that. So before making the decision, collect all the information, and when you are convinced that you have enough information and you are ready to make the switch with pride. And let us face it. Let us face whatever comes, because you have made the decision with all the right information with you. So whatever happens, you will have the power to face it and win over it. That's how you should see it.
Yeah.
That's my
this following question is like somewhat useful to people who are planning to do a transition in the same domain that they are in. So how do I see a problem where ML can be applied? So how do I identify a problem where machine learning can be applied or data science can be applied? So suppose, let's say I work in a manufacturing plant. How do I identify problems where machine learning can be applied? So can you please help us with examples on that?
Yeah, sure. The first place that you should see is look for opportunities for cutting down labor. As I said before, everybody would be thrilled if you replace if you replace 4 labor with 1 labor. What I mean is, if something is being done redundantly and repeatedly, mundane, repetitive tasks, try to automate that. That's the starting point, because automation is the mother of all needs. It will create all needs. So when you decide to automate things, lot of problems will show up. So I'm sure you would be doing things which are well-established processes, probably manual processes, but very well-established, time-tested processes. But think out of the box and see if some of those processes or sub-processes can be automated. So this is where, this is how your curiosity can be kindled. And when you start thinking about reducing the human labor or reducing the amount of effort one has to spend in getting a job done by the introduction of automation, that opens up a lot of new problems. This is the starting point. And when the Pandora box is opened, which means you have moved into automation world, now there will be some problems which are based on data, whose answers will be based on data. For example, let's say if you want consider a furniture shop, right? Consider a furniture shop, and the placement of different furniture in the showroom is actually a data science problem, but it is not solved using data science. It is solved using experience. So you will see that the beds are usually kept at the back, right? And the fast moving goods will be kept in the front of the store. And there is a reason for all of this placement. See, there'll be a lot of people who come and buy beds, right? And if you make them walk to the end of the shop, you are forcing them to see your display of goods. You are indirectly influencing them to show your products to those customers, right? So the placement of these beds are at the inner side of the shop for this reason. And also you will rarely move that bed. But let's say if it's a chair, you will keep moving the chair. You can freely move the chair from one place to another. And the movement within the showroom will be easier if it is a small furniture. Larger furnitures are kept generally inside for convenience reason and also showcasing reason. And this decision is made based on the salesman's experience, right? But imagine if you translate this problem into a data science problem. Say for the way you can look at it is, how many of the customers who have inquired about other furniture when they have come to buy a bed? Just pose this question to yourself. Now this question automatically becomes a data science question, right? So the thing is, if you are curious about your domain, that's why I said before, unless you are enthusiastic about the domain, having all the data science skill is useless. Because data science or whatever that comes from data science is a bunch of tools. You need the solution in your mind. Then you can choose a tool from the data science world to go and solve the problem. You see the idea, right? So now whatever you have as a real problem, a real life problem, when you are a domain expert and when you have some enthusiasm towards data science, you will naturally feel the urge to translate this problem into a data science type problem. Or data science type problem is something where you make decisions based only on data. That's all. So the one simple question, how many customers who came in for buying a bed inquired about other furniture in my shop? If you find an answer to it, you will know why that bed was placed inside. Understood? On the other hand, why do you keep the fast moving goods at the entrance? Why do you keep fast moving goods at the entrance? This again can be posed as a question. So how many times you have converted a customer into a visitor or an inquiry customer into a sales customer when you kept the chairs, let's say chairs being the fast moving products, I'm just argument's sake. How many times you converted an inquiry customer into a sales customer when you kept the chairs near the door versus when you kept the chairs inside the shop? If you got that statistics, you know the reason why the fast moving goods are kept near the door of the shop. This is again a data science question. But right now it is solved by experience. So the salesman, the seasoned salesman, the elderly salesman on the floor, that fellow will know all this because he's looking at it day in and day out as patterns. Data science is a toolkit which allows you to look at patterns and take decisions from those patterns or convert them into insights. So the insight that we have is the bed customers can also become other customers. That's an insight. And the sales is higher when you keep the fast moving goods near the door. That's an insight. The salesman will have that insight because that fellow is saying this pattern day in and day out. and we can get the same insight from a machine. If you translate all this data, the field data, and give it to a machine, the machine can also get you these insights. And the data scientist or the data engineer or the researcher, their only job is to translate the real world problem into data problems. Their first objective is that. So data scientists are not expected to build models. No, that is not their goal. That is not their expectation. And companies don't pay somebody because they know how to build models. No. The companies are willing to pay them because they have the ability to translate a real life problem into a data science problem. And they have the ability to pick the right data science tool to solve that problem. That is what making them premium in the industry. That is why every employer is willing to pay a larger chunk of money to them. I'll give you a comparison. So if you hire a Java developer in the industry, the average industry rate is 2 lakhs per year of experience. So if somebody is 10 years experienced, employers will be willing to pay somewhere between 18 to 20 lakhs, easy. You can find a lot of employers who is willing to pay, a lot of employers who are willing to pay 20 lakhs to this 10 years old seasoned Java programmer, right? But in the data science world, the multiplication factor is easily 5 lakhs to 8 lakhs. Sometimes it is 10 lakhs also. So if you find a data scientist, a very good, very, very smart data scientist with just 2 years experience, employers will flock to that guy to pay him 20 lakhs or more. Just 2 years of experience, right? So the ability of the data scientist is to translate real life problems which appear obscured into data science problems. And then once you have translated the problem, then all of things just become plug and play, right? Okay, there is another level when the available tools are not enough. I mean, let's say you have a lot of tools as a part of Keras and sklearn platforms, right? People think Keras and sklearn are machine learning. No, there is a lot of things beyond these two platforms or these two frameworks. When you don't have a solution in these two libraries, what will you do? That is when the real scientists come into play, right? They are the ones who create new solutions, who create new algorithms. But that kind of job is limited to very few companies. And I'm very proud to say that Buddy.ai is one company which has such people in the research division. So you see one guy on the screen, Jashuran is also like that. Jashuran is a guy who can solve problems when the solutions don't exist. He will create solutions to those problems. And people like Jashuran are all there in my team, in Buddy.ai, I mean. So very few companies have people who have the ability to create new solutions. And a lot of the company, let's say 90% of the data science need coming from the industry is translating the problem and applying an existing solution to that problem. If you do that, they are willing to pay a lot of money to you.
So you answered 2 questions on the same question. So I had a follow-up question on like why data scientists are paid so much in the industry now.
I will answer that. There is one more to that. I mean, see, employers pay high lot of money because you are solving problems for which solutions don't exist, or you are solving problems, or you are translating a real problem into a data science problem. That is also a very revered skill because not everybody can do that. Right? Only a few who have the appreciation to domain knowledge and have the awareness of what is available as my tools, they are the ones who have the ability to marry these two. Right? And as an individual, as a starter, just set the intent clearly in your mind. Pick domain knowledge, pick the tools, and also learn how to connect them. Right? You should. That is what is very, very important. Connecting the dots is very, very important for being a very, very interesting resource. You will become very hot. You will stay relevant very hot in the market. Okay. So for this reason, employers are willing to pay. And it makes a lot of sense to pay. There is another reason why employers overpay. See, employers, they are business people, right? They look at opportunities from the market, and they know what is the revenue potential of that particular opportunity. And they will also know what is the skill and capability required to tap that potential. They will do all the study, the SWOT analysis. They will do that, right? And they will figure out that They don't have that capability in their company today. But they have an opportunity which is lying around, waiting to be tapped. And any employer or any CEO will immediately say, okay, I don't know, it doesn't matter. I will hire somebody who knows it. That will be the attitude of any CEO. Correct. Any top brass will think that if I don't know it, let me partner with somebody who knows it. Right. So I am willing to pay a portion of my potential revenue or potential profit, not revenue, potential profit. I don't mind paying a portion of that profit to you if you can solve the problem for me. Okay. Right. This is a practical scenario. This is a practical scenario. So I have a potential of learning 100 crores. Okay. I have a potential of earning or making 100 crores revenue. Let's say of that 40 crores is my profit. Let's put it that way. Okay. And I have a potential of making 40 crores profit. Why don't I pay 40 lakhs to you to hire? I'm just paying 1% of it. That too for 1 year. Right? 40 crores I will get with in a year or maybe in 2 years. If I have to just burn 80 lakhs on you, which is 2% of my potential profit. I don't care if you are a fresher. If you can solve the problem for me, I don't mind throwing any number at you because my profits are 100 times more than the number I'm throwing at you. Okay. So this will be the mindset of any employer. I will also be like that. If I don't know something, but I know I can make a lot of profit in tapping an opportunity, I don't mind paying an individual who says that he or she can solve the problem for me. I don't pay them 1% of my profit. What is the problem in that? Or let's say 0.1% of the profit. It doesn't matter. Right? So this is why you see in premium institutions, campus programs, through campus programs, people get hired for 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs when they are a fresher. But this is insane, I would say. It's not practical. But see, the moment I tap that potential, the moment I made my 40 crores profit, why would I retain you? Let's say 2 years you saw. I don't know if that comes fine. Otherwise, should I keep you on a bench? See, employers will be after making money.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Of course, you are also after making money. It's okay. Both of us are making money. That's okay. But be pragmatic. You are selling your skills and they are buying your skills. Don't have any other relationship. I mean, don't think loyalty, affinity, all those are not relevant here. You are selling your skills and they are buying your skills, or I am buying your skills, you are selling your skills. It has to be a professional relationship, right? And always think to yourself that you are replaceable. Let's say I pay you 40 lakhs to pull off a 40 crore project. Tomorrow, if I can replace you with a 20 lakhs person who has probably the same potential as you, I don't mind throwing you out and hiring the 20 lakhs fellow. Because it makes a lot of sense to save my company from unnecessary burn. Any employer would do that. And you have to be wary when you are overpaid. So I say this to everybody, all my team members. So when you are underpaid, go challenge. When you are overpaid, be worried. Because you are replaced, you will be thrown out the first moment when you can be replaced. When you're overpaid. Be wary when you're overpaid. When you're underpaid, go fight. And if they are not willing to pay, leave that company and go to a different company. It's perfect. So you should be plus or minus that optimal pay. So always ask yourself, what is the value you generate to the company? And what is the company paying you in compensation? There should be a balance around those two numbers. There should be a balance. And if there is an imbalance, start worrying.
That's happens, what I say. Sir.
Everywhere.
Happened in the COVID situation. Most of the IT companies.
Yeah. See, COVID is it's a one-off situation. We cannot really use that as an example. Exceptions cannot be example. But generally speaking, every employer would take all the steps to cut cost. They will take all the steps to reduce their OPEX. They will always do that. I mean, that's how they can protect their company. That's how they grow. And as an individual, so it's a worry for the individual, right? The individual should always think what is the skill I have, what have I given to the company, and what is the company paying me for that. You have to always do this math. And when you are under delivering, upskill yourself. It's okay. It is okay if you get into a situation where you are overpaid. It is okay. But give that justification to your employer. First, give it to yourself. Okay, you generate more value by upskilling yourself, and then give the justification to your employer, and you're out of risk immediately. Right? So one line I wanted to add to Jeshwaran's question. So when people overpay, when you are a starter, when people overpay, and when you join there, don't expect any kind of support. What I mean by that is, let's say you are hired by a startup or a company for a apparently overpriced cost. That means what? That means the company does not have anybody else. That is why they are paying you more. So which means when you decide to join such a company, my friend, you are on your own. Sometimes it's going to put you in a very difficult situation, because when life goes smooth, let's say your problems are solved, you are able to deliver things on time, then peaceful. But machine learning world or data science world, things are not that interesting. So for tasting one success, you may have to tread 50 failures. And when you tread your failure, you will be questioned left, right, and center by the person who's paying you more. They will question you because they are investing money on you. And that is a time you will earn for support. So I suggest all the young lads here, don't join a company when you're a fresher, when you're just a fresher, or when you are not very experienced in data science world. Please don't join a company where you don't get peer support or supervisory support. Please always join a team which has people to whom you can talk about your technical problems. I mean, you need to have somebody to chime your ideas, right? You need to have that. So always join a company where you get peer support, at least supervisory support. You have a leader or a boss to whom you can talk to. Share your issues, limitations, problems, and somebody to guide you to move forward. When you are on your own, you don't know whether you are going in the right path. You are judged only by the result. You are not just judged by the path. You are judged by the result. Remember that. Right? So when you have support, when you have supervisory support or peer support, your path course correction can be done by your peers or your supervisor.
So maybe in the interest of time, so I just have like one more brief question and like followed by 5 rapid fire questions. So okay, so for the brief question, you have 3 minutes. So this is the brief question for now. So you are a chief scientific officer of chief scientist at a company. So how does your daily routine look like? So how is your day job? How does your day job look like?
Do you think it's a short question?
Okay, you have 3 minutes.
Okay, sure. Thank you. I've seen the clock already. Okay, see, I don't sit and code. Simply put, I don't write programs today. When of course I do it for my own passion, that's a different story. But I don't take the production task or the development task onto my plate. So the main task that I do is giving directions to people, setting the goals appropriately, helping them in estimating and designing stuff, be a validator, I would say. Right? So as a chief scientist, my primary role is to set the targets for my team. So I have a 40+ team at Buddy.ai, right? Researchers and engineers together, seasoned fellows. So my target is to set directions to my team, set them proper goals, and tell them what are the limitations and assumptions that they can make. And so basically set their goals, right? That is my first role. The second role is to be a validator. When they are executing something or when they are designing something, I have to be a validator. I have to go chime in my feedback and be somebody so that they can bounce their ideas with me, right? So that the second role is the validator role. And third role is the most critical role, is the damage control role. which is when some things don't work, right? When some things don't work, I have to be the face to take the brunt of it, right? So damage control is my third most important function, right? And fourth important function is to take care of the upskilling and reskilling of my members, my teammates, right? I have to ensure that my team's career path is properly set, and my team is always up to date in terms of tools and techniques and education and whatnot. So I have to ensure that, see, the roadmap of the company can be solved by setting targets and deliverables and stuff, right? That is on the functional aspect of it, or from the company's point of view. My other most important role is, as individuals, what am I giving them, right? Am I allowing them to grow? Am I allowing them to progress further, right? That is something I take it to my personal stride. So I ensure that every individual who's working in my team is given a proper roadmap on their career path, and the necessary help be given to them to tread that path. So that is my next most important responsibility. And the final responsibility that I have is be a punch bag. So if somebody wants to vent their frustration, I am all ears. In fact, so I always I be available most of the time for people to come and talk to me, right? They can talk to me over phone. No, phone is less preferred. Let's say over Teams meeting or over emails, people keep talking to me, right? And some people visit my office also to talk to me. So if I work for 12 hours a day, at least 10 hours of my day is spent with others, either by responding to emails or responding to calls or attending to people and stuff, because that is my primary function, is to ensure that things are moving. I have to keep talking to people. So as a part of that, I have to also be a punch bag. So when somebody is trying to vent out their frustration, I have to listen to them, and I will listen to them. So as a leader, right? As a leader, I have to be an absorber of people's emotions with respect to professional world. I mean, I have to absorb their pressure, the pressure on them. If as a boss, I cannot do good, but as a leader, I have to be an absorber of people's, the various things that they go through every day. So that is another very important function I serve, a punch bag.
Okay, that's nice. So now we move on to the last final rapid fire questions. So we just have due to lack of time, I've registered to 3 questions. So you have around 30 seconds for each question. So first question that I have is, so for someone who is looking to do some additional coursework in data science, so should they prefer a master's degree or a certification program?
See, from an employer's point of view, your degree program or a certification do not matter at all. See, in my opinion, your degree or your certificate is just a gate pass. It's just a gate pass. And that will allow you to tap in new opportunities. Let's say if you're seeking a job or something, there your certifications and degrees will allow you to take an interview or give an interview. That is all they will do. At the moment you cross the gate, your certification and your degree, they are no longer relevant. Whatever you have learned during your certificate and degree, and whatever you have practiced after your certificate and degree or during your certificate degree, that is what is going to take you forward. So your experience only matters. Your certification programs or your degrees and certificates will serve just as a gate pass. It will give you opportunities, but only your experience will allow you to leverage the opportunity. So that is my answer.
Okay, nice.
So as an employer, they do not matter. Let's say you are already in a company, and if you get another 2 certificates, if you expect the employer to give you a hike, don't expect that. They will happily give you a hike when you add more value. Let's say you solve new problems. You don't even go and you don't have to go and ask. They will do it automatically because they want to retain you, right? They don't want others to take you away. So your certificates do not matter to the current employer, but a new employer, they serve as a gate pass.
Okay, so the next question is should I join a startup or should I join an established company?
That's a good question.
What is that? What is that? Say it
Should
again.
Should I join a startup or should I join an established company?
Wherever you join a company where you get peer support.
Okay.
Right, and supervisory support. Wherever you get it, go join there. Don't join anywhere else. It doesn't matter whether you join a startup or a seasoned company. It doesn't matter at all. Don't worry about job security and all in the first 2-3 years. You worry only about what you are going to learn. So you have a target of 2 years or 3 years to become a seasoned data scientist. Become seasoned. Get all the experience. Don't worry about money. Money will follow you when you have the wisdom. Your only goal is to gain wisdom, gain experience, gain practice experience. For that, you need peer support. Join a company where you get peer and supervisory support. That's the answer.
Okay, so the final question that I have is like, what do you look for more in a resume? So do you look for Kaggle projects or Kaggle competition winners, or do you hunt for people who have research publications in top conferences?
See, I only look for evidence, right? Evidence that someone has worked. Right. I mean, of course, your Kaggle competition participation, your research paper publications, and the projects that you have done, the description of the projects will all give me evidence that you have tried something. Right. So again, those things are going to serve as gate pass. Right. Anyway, once I see that there is enough evidence for me to talk to you. See, I have to spend half an hour with you, right? So to initially have a call with you. So I'm just looking for evidence in your resume, and I want the evidence to be factual. And see, just by if you do SEO on your resume like search engine optimization like stuff in your resume, by putting all the words in it, then I will immediately catch it because I read it as a human being. I'm not processing it with the machine. So when I see a resume, I look for evidence. I seek for evidence with supportive information, and that actually triggers my interest to talk to you. So the moment I am convinced that okay, you have something to offer, I talk to you over phone and find out if you are indeed such a person. And if you are such a person, yeah, let us pursue this, and let's see if we can hire you. Yeah, that's about it.
Thanks. So currently we are 1 minute over time of our time. So thanks for all the gyan and knowledge and insights that you provided us, Sudarshan sir. So thanks everyone. Thanks for everyone for this opportunity.
Thanks very much for the questions, Jashuran. It actually kindled a lot of things in me also.
Pleasure is mine, sir.
It was quite interesting, sir. Not just because you are an scientific officer. So it is regarding taking a step from a normal person who doesn't have any knowledge technically, can actually understand what you're coming to say and what is their perception and how they can proceed further as a career path taking AI. And there were a lot of things I also was thinking like, okay, these and all are there, the perspectives that we need to look for when we are stepping into AI and machine learning. So thank you so much for being such a wonderful guest. And thank you, Jashuran, for bringing up a lot of questions that gave us a lot of information, a lot of knowledge sharing here. And so we would definitely like to collaborate with you henceforth for any other opportunities that we get on the way. Thank you so much, sir.
Looking forward. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Stay safe, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Jashuran. Guys, so we had a wonderful session. It was not much of a technical discussion, I would say, but rather an session where you can actually understand from a layman's language how this is going to change. AI is going to change the world. And today we also have, we have entered into the second slot. We have Sai Shruti. Hi, Sai Shruti, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you for asking. Hope everything is safe and sound there.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope everything is good there as well.
Yeah, kind of. It's under control, COVID situation and all. So guys, to give an introduction, Sai Shruti, she started her career as an engineer in TCS. Then past few years, she has gained a lot of knowledge, and now she's and technical lead in IBM. And she's located in California, so she's connecting us remotely. So it's an advantage in the online world, right? Thank you so much for joining, Sai.
Thank you. I mean, I should thank you, right? Like, thank you so much for providing me this platform. So it's been like 2 years since I started being in front of community. For the past 2 years, I think I have gave about like 45 to 50 talks in conferences and connected a lot of workshops around. And surprising, I mean, one thing is, one interesting fact is it's the first time I'm getting in front of our audience, like Indian, audience here.
Lucky, yes.
Yeah, so I'm super excited to present, to be back after like 4 years.
Kind of like
give my
landing
first
back to the
talk-
homeland.
Yeah, so give my first talk through Gubi. Like, thank you so much for the opportunity.
We are great to have you here. And guys, today, as you already know, we are in the session of AI for India 1.0, and we bring Sai Shruti. She's here to show you guys a demo. And so practically it will be how to detect and mitigate bias in machine learning. This is going to be her topic, and she's going to, I think it is really going to be very informative for you guys. She's definitely going to bring you a lot of insights on how this everything works. So over to you, Sai.
Thank you so much. So I think I'll probably share my screen.
Yes.
So that we can get started. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Perfect. So yeah, hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today. I'm just super excited to present what I'm passionate about, what I believe in, and what I think each one of each one person, each single person in the world should be aware of, and should care about, right? So yeah, so bit about myself. I work as a technical lead and data scientist in IBM open source machine learning team, and my day-to-day work, I do a lot of open source contribution, and I work with partners and clients in data science engagement, and of course an ardent ethical AI advocate, and that's why I'm here, I would say. So a bit of why I'm talking about trusted AI, what I have done, right? So I have created our package for AI Fairness Toolkit, and I'm one of the committee member and representative of Linux Foundation Trusted AI Committee, and I'm an ethical advocate. So day in and day out, wherever I get chance, I make sure I put this in front of my audience, make sure they are aware of what they are doing, and they take it to the next set of community people, right? So this is like a great platform for me to talk about, and I'm gonna get started with my session now. So the session is how do you mitigate discrimination and bias in machine learning model uh, in an open source way. Everything is going to be free. You're going to take a good bunch of materials back, to test, to learn, and to experiment with. And last but not the least, when I say who I am, so I always like to quote this: I am a woman in tech and a proud daughter and a wife too. So let's quickly go over today's agenda. So we will see what responsible AI is and why it is important, and have a high level overview of AI Fairness 360 Toolkit, then a quick demo of the tool usage, and we will end with resources that you can use to join Linux Foundation AI Trusted AI Committee discussion, as well as know and contribute to these open source project. Open source is a big platform, so I would encourage you all to come explore that side of the world as well if you're not familiar with the contribution to open source. And so on that topic, I want to make a disclaimer here that while I do work for IBM, I'll be sharing some of my own personal opinions, and I'm not here in an official capacity or as a spokesperson for IBM. Let's set the stage first. So, what do I want you all to take out from this session? Right? So, the first one, I want all of you to understand and get a sense of concept of bias and fairness, know what are the tools that can help you, and get introduced to Linux Foundation Trusted AI Group, and get a sense of how you can use these toolkits in your day-to-day machine learning or day-to-day data science work. So starting with AI opportunity, it's as exciting, it's incredibly important, and we interact with them every single day. right from traveling in getting your intelligent route. Let's say you want to go somewhere, you pick up your phone, open your maps, and you're just, using the intelligent route to travel, right? And if you take your Gmail, you have your spam filter, you have autocomplete, and so many features, right? We interact with a lot of AI systems on a daily basis and we enjoy them. Now, this is for the user perspective. Come to the company's perspective. For companies, incentives are around revenue, making themselves more efficient via better products, right? So in 2018, McKinsey estimated that by 2030, AI could add $13 trillion market to global economic output. And of course, there are a lot of responsibilities and a lot of opportunities in the field of AI, right? But this opportunity come with risk as well, and that's what I'm going to present with you all. Let's see harm that AI system can cause to the users. First thing, I'm pretty sure you're all like eager, so I really want you all to take this one, take this with you. What harm AI system can cause, right? Bias in the data. Bias in the data will reflect in your algorithm. So why do we have to care about, right? Okay, there is a bias, there is bias everywhere. Why should I care, right? Let's say there is a bias in your hiring system. Your hiring system is powered by AI and there is a bias. Then there is an opportunity that you will lose a chance to even get an interview, for example. Second thing, loss of liberty and even loss of life, because AI is being used in clinical diagnosis, right? So now let's see, this is again in the perspective of the users. Let's get into how it can cause harm to the business. Let's say everyone around is aware that your system is having bias, so your customers will also get aware. It can cause harm to your reputation. It will eventually result in loss of public interest and regulation backlash. So this is like a too much, this is really really important to be aware of. So what is the solution here? The solution is, of course, building responsible AI systems. That's a straightforward answer. It's very important that we build responsible AI systems. So what are the examples? For example, we need to be aware of all the regulations like GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, and we need to make sure we practice ethical way of building models. We need to make sure we have diverse teams, we have an ethics board, and so on. So these are like some of the suggestions, but this is not a complete guidance, but I'll provide like some guidance towards things that you can consider when you're building your AI systems. So some examples here. This is from Joy Bolapmini. She said, she has I'm just quoting her, quote. We have entered the age of automation, overconfident and yet underprepared. So if we fail to make ethical and inclusive artificial intelligence, we risk losing gains made in civil rights and gender equality under, mission neutrality, right? So it's really important. And this is from a founder of Black in AI. So the goal here, what is the importance of finding this, organization or this group, right? The goal is to diversify the field, increase the number of underrepresented people, who enter and stay in the field, and so that people who ask questions, people who set objectives in building AI system become more diverse. So the algorithm that they train will also have less bias, right? Let's say you are building a credit card application. You in your team you just have people from one specific group, right? This is not a good representation. So let's say you have a diverse team with people from different states, for example. So it's very important to have a diverse data and diverse team to have less bias. And one example here, this is from Pinterest. They have recently launched a new feature on their website. which allows you to search feature that results by skin tone. The idea behind this is, those beauty tips, for example, they need, regardless of the race, regardless of the color, they need to be relevant, right? So it is said that skin tone feature is a direct result of diversity and inclusion work, and they are working closely with technical and engineering team within the company to make sure their product is inclusive. So this is like a real problem which we all need to face, and this is the perfect platform for me to bring in, because we are dealing with facial recognition app, we're dealing with a lot of new concepts, right? So you for people who are practicing data science, I'm pretty sure you're aware of the data science methodology. We start from data extraction, we go do the data cleaning, we pre-process the data set, we get into the model development phase, evaluate and deploy, right? So how a responsible AI pipeline will look like. So I'm going to take altogether different perspective now. First pipeline component is design. So make sure we have it human centric, right? Be aware of who is going to interact with your system, who you are designing for. Let's say you are creating an application that will be used by certain group of people. We need to make sure we know their values. We need to make sure we have their values, their belief in mind before making a decision. uh, we need to make sure we with our align with the value of people for whom we are targeting the application. So this is in the design phase of responsible AI pipeline. Now moving to data, the next component. I hope I'm not going too fast. Feel free to pause if I'm going pretty fast here.
No,
So
not at all.
yeah, thank you. So next, data. So first thing we need to think, okay, is my data a good representative of the population, right? Let's say I'm creating an application. Did I cover as many criteria as possible in my data? So that's have this as the first question in your mind when you get your data. And the second thing, it's really important, make sure if there is any personal information in your data, make sure it is protected, right? There are a lot of concepts, a lot of things. If you want to know more about it, please feel free to contact, but make sure your personal information is protected. And the third thing is, let's say you have like different version of your data, right? Make sure you have records of all your data backstories so that it's useful for your auditing purpose, for repeatability purpose. So design, make it human centric. Data, make sure it's a good representative and your personal informations are protected. Next thing, we are getting into model. Okay, now we have data, we have well clean, good representative, like you're protected, all the personal information, and it's all good, right? Big thumbs up there. Now you're building a model. Can your model explain why you're getting certain outcome? Right? So let's say you're building a model for a credit card application, and you're getting your application is denied. So will the model be able to tell me why it is predicting why it is predicting a negative outcome for my application, right? So explainability of your model, and then fairness of your model. Your race, gender, sexual orientation, or any other proxy should not be used to determine your decision, because it violates regulation, it's unfair. So make sure your model is explainable, your model is fair. So first design, next get into the data component, next we got into the model component, and now is the monitoring phase, right? You again, a big thumbs up here, you're done everything great and you're going to deploy your solution. Make sure you have all the unit tests ready. Make sure every single module are independently verified, and you have test cases for every single outcome, right? And make sure you continuously evaluate your model in performance and fairness as you deploy your model. Make sure the performance stays the same and it's fair. And at the end is accountability. Make sure you keep all the records, privacy policies, everything transparent, and you have representatives to check for all the regulations, right? So this is the responsible AI pipeline. I'm sure you must all have seen like data science methodology, data science pipeline everywhere, but this is really important as you get into the real world problem. I hope you can see my screen properly, right? Just want to make sure.
Yes. Yes.
So you all have seen like responsible AI pipeline here. So what are the benefits? What will it give me, right? So it if you are having like responsible AI system, it can help prevent the scaling of bias and any harmful stereotype reinforcement. And you're building an inclusive product, which is awesome, right? By this I mean like your product has larger reach among a diverse audience, and of course you have delighted customers with experiences that align with their values because you care for your customer values, right? And there is a responsible branding, and altogether it's a successful product. Now switching I'm going to switch the gear to the committee. So LFAI, Linux Foundation AI, is an umbrella foundation of Linux Foundation. It aims to create a sustainable open source ecosystem by open source artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning projects. So LFAI Trusted AI is a global group, and we fall under LFAI, which is Linux Foundation AI, focusing on infusing trust and transparency into AI application. So what are the scope of our committee? I'm one of the member of Linux Foundation AI Trusted AI Committee, and these are our scope. So we define policy, guidelines, tooling, use cases by industry, and we create a badging process for open source project that meet trusted AI policies and guidelines. So now getting more technical. I'm sure this is what you all have been waiting for. So getting more technical now, IBM has donated three of our trusted AI projects to Linux Foundation in July 2020, and they are currently being incubated. One is AI Fairness 360, AI Explainability 360, and Adversarial Robustness Toolkit. And I'm not going to put like too much information, so I thought, okay, let me just introduce the Fairness Toolkit, right? And if in future, if I get an opportunity, I will for sure talk about explainability and the Robustness Toolkit. But for today, I'm going to introduce you all this AI Fairness 360 Toolkit. So just a quick, intro about AI Fairness 360 Toolkit. So AI Fairness 360 package is available in both Python and R. So you have a set of metrics, you have a set of algorithms for detecting and mitigating bias in data as well as machine learning models. There are about 70 metrics for examining bias in data as well as models, and there are 10 algorithms for mitigating your bias. So, I talk a lot about fairness, right? Fairness, it's not an easy thing to define. So it is multifaceted. It depends on the context you're talking about. Sometimes you need that bias. Sometimes you don't want bias, right? It depends on the context that you're talking about, and it defined by the social construct, the society that we are living in, what they care about and what they value the most, right? Based on all these components, the term fairness definition changes. So our toolkit is useful towards achieving justice in many situations, but it cannot fully capture fairness in all the situations. This is like a disclaimer. So if you're using this toolkit, it's really important that you have a broad discussion with your stakeholders in every single phase. Make sure you sit together, you define your targets, your goal, what is the value that you want, and then accordingly use this toolkit. So this particular toolkit will be really useful if you have a well-defined problem, know what you require, right? So there are amazing tutorials out there and guidance material for you to help start it. And what is the goal here? So why do I actually talk about it, right? So the goal here, all these algorithms that are behind this toolkit are research oriented. So we want this algorithmic research from lab to the real world, right? When you productize research, it's very, very important for us to get feedback from the open community, because only when we get the feedback, we will know like which of the research gems are actually appropriate for enterprise, right? So I'm one of the co-creator of our package, our version of this AFNS 360 package. But for today, I'll be focusing on the Python version. So where can you use this toolkit? Again, we saw the responsible AI pipeline. Now we are getting into the actual pipeline that we all, practice day in and day out. So it can be used throughout. You can use it in the pre-processing phase. Pre-processing is before your model development. You get your data, you clean your data, and then when you're doing after you are done with all the cleaning and before you develop your model, that phase, right? You can use this toolkit during that phase. And next is in processing. In processing is when you're actually developing your model. You can take this toolkit, and when you're developing the model, you can make sure that you're trying to detect and mitigate bias. And the last thing is the post processing. Let's say you don't have access to your data, you don't have access to your model, but you have access to the developed model, right? So take your model files, and again, there are certain algorithms that you can use to detect and mitigate bias in the post processing phase. So I'm taking a pause here, just giving you a high level overview of what we have covered so far. So we spoke about AI in general, how it is growing, but also the harm it can cause to the society. And we then started with some of the examples, like how people are coming up in the space, like what is the real problem that they are facing. And then getting into the responsible AI pipeline, we spoke about design phase, data phase, what you need to carry in the model development phase, deployment phase, and I'm talking about this one here, yeah, and deployment phase, and monitoring and accountability. And then I gave like a quick overview of Linux Foundation AI, Trusted AI Committee, and the three open source toolkit, I would say, that can help you in your trusted AI journey. One is to check your fairness in your model and data. Second is make your model more explainable. And third is, let's say your model is prone to some attack. This is going to test your model against attack and make sure it's robust. And high level explanation of what this toolkit is and where it can be used. So I know, like, if you're in the beginner stage of data science and you're thinking, okay, I'm just starting with this, starting to get into data science, will it be useful for me, right? It's very important. I would actually advocate, like, if you're new to data science, it's good to learn from now on, right? Instead of learning everything after you learn the basics and stuff, this needs to be learned along with your regular practice, so that it gets into your lifestyle, right? Like, whenever you approach a business problem, you will automatically start thinking in building it in an ethical way, right? So Yes, so that's why I feel like even though some of the concepts are extremely new to you, or it's even high level, please don't get too much worried about it, but at least get awareness of these concepts and this toolkit, so that whenever, even when you are creating your projects, right, go and use this toolkit and show it to your, even if you're finding a job, and take this toolkit, they are open source, use it in your projects and talk about it, right? So that gives you leverage over other projects where you use your normal methodologies. So some tips that I personally used. So yes, getting into the metrics part. So when I say metrics, there are different ways of quantifying unwanted bias in your data and model. I'm just going to go over high level category of metrics just to give you all a sense. I know this is like a talk, but I want to make it more useful way. I want to show you the code, the practice in real time. So this 1 hour of your time will be really will be really useful, right? So four categories. First is individual fairness, right? All of us in this world wants to be treated similarly. Everyone should have the same rights. Everyone should have the same leverage, right? If your use case has that aspect of value, then you go with those kind of metrics and algorithm. And the second thing, I'm splitting the entire world's population into 5 categories, right? Category 1, category 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I want these 5 category of people to be treated equally, right? Then I go with a group fairness check of metrics and algorithms. And if you want to test the data, if you want to test the model, there is this other set of metrics as well. So these are like a bit introduction of how these metrics are classified: individual fairness, group fairness. If everyone wants to be treated similarly, there is a certain type of algorithms and metrics. If each group has to be treated equally, then there's a certain algorithms and metrics. So again, as I mentioned before, we have 3 types of algorithms here. You can use this algorithm when you're preparing your data. You can use this algorithm when you're preparing developing your model, and you can use this algorithm even you know after you have developed your model. But our recommendation here is early mediation category in the pipeline. If you have permission to apply these concepts when you are preparing your data or pre-processing your data, it will give you more flexibility and opportunity to correct the bias as much as possible than getting to the end, right? You have your data model, you get it at the end. So we recommend earliest mediation category. If possible, try to play with as much as metrics and algorithm as possible, and because there is no one best algorithm independent of the data set, right? So these are some of the tips and tricks, and these are the algorithm category. And I'm going to show you something. I'm going to change my screen so that you all get some refresher. Just don't want to show the same presentation I think for the past 32 minutes, you all have been patient with me in the presentation. Thanks for that. So yeah, so this is the site, AFNS 360 site. And if there's a link to Python doc. If you want to get to the Python code, there's a link to the GitHub, and our code, there's a link to the GitHub. And yes, let's say you have no idea what this bias and fairness means, right? So there is a good set of resources for you to learn whatever I have said here. Overview, there's a tutorial here. If you want some guidance on to understand what this each term means, then there is a glossary. I personally use this glossary to understand because it was pretty new for me as well when I saw this toolkit, and a detailed explanation of each toolkit that I mentioned before. Right, so this is the open source toolkit AFNS 360, and I'm going to show you Linux Foundation, Trusted AI. So this is the Linux Foundation Trusted AI Committee that I was talking before. So if you go, again, you have all the 3 projects and there is a principal group. You have all the information here. And I'm going to send all the resources. You can get all these resources from GUI team after the talk. So if you want to join, if you want to know more about, if you want to join the committee, you have like this sign up form. We have like monthly calls where people around the world come and actually share their views, share their projects. There's a lot of information and a lot of talks going on in this committee. So feel free to join. And yes, I have given this presentation maybe like to more than like 100 or 150 audiences at till date. It's been like 7 or 8 months since I actively started advocating for this toolkit. I mean, I got used to it. I created the R version of the package. Then I got the confidence that, okay, now I'm ready to go and talk to the community, right? So I always see people enjoy when they see some practical aspect, right? They get overwhelmed when you're shown a lot of concepts. But the moment I switch to notebook, the moment I switch to a practical example, it's always exciting. So that's what we are in. The use case that I actually created a new use case. This is not existing. What I actually did, like today morning, I actually sat down. It's like 2 a.m. here for me. So today morning, I actually like sat down and created this because I felt some of you must be new to the concept. So there are a lot of flow charts here for you to understand. So I have the GitHub link. Feel free to take a look at it after the session. So yes, what is the use case I was focusing today is customer churn prediction. So if you are into data science, this is one of the most sought out use case in the industry. Somehow or the other, you will end up facing customers asking for this use case. So what does mean by churn, right? Let's say you are building a product, you are going to predict which customer will stop using your product, right? Which customer you will lose, which customer you will stop will stop using your product. This is one of the most sought out use case, so I thought I can take this one. And I'm using Kaggle data, telecom data set here. So let's visually see the process, right? If you're going through the regular data science pipeline, what you will do is you will extract the data, you'll put them all to one place, you will clean it, you will visualize it, you develop the model, you evaluate and deploy, right? This is like a usual process you go through. But our goal is to make sure our model, our data is biased and bias free. Not bias free, also at least we detect the bias and mitigate the bias, right? We are not going to 100%, at least with the amount of data, it all depends. But I'm going to use the word detect and mitigate here. So there is a slight change. So what you're going to do is, in this particular example, I'm going to use this toolkit before model development. If you all remember, this is the pre-processing phase, right? Before my model development. So how it will change? I'm going to extract data. I'm going to clean, visualize the data, and I'm going to evaluate if bias exists or not, right? And if I detect like bias exists, then I'm going to use my algorithm to try and mitigate the bias, and I'm going to get next set of clean data set, bias detected mitigated data set, which I'm going to use for my model, and I'm going to evaluate and deploy, right? There's a slide shift. We are going to insert this AFNS 360 toolkit into our regular process. So how it will look like? I'm going to just maximize my screen just to make sure you all can see. First, as usual, you're going to load all the necessary package. And when I started practicing data science, I used to import package in the middle of the code, right? Whenever I feel like using the package, I used to import. but it's always good to have all the import statement in one cell if you're using Jupyter Notebook for your creation. Make sure you all club everything, and make sure you have documentation, you have code comments for each section of your code. So it's a good practice, to follow, to start right from the beginning of your career, right? And you extract the data. I'm using the telecom data set. I'm reading the data here. First, I'm going to show you how it looks like. So this is how my data set will look. And the last column, the one that I'm showing here, the last column is the churn. It's going to tell me whether the customer is going to stay with me or not. So yes, I saw the data here. There are a lot of string values and there are few numerical values here. There are few float columns here, right? Now I know, now I got sense of my data set. So next I'm going to see if there is any, I'm going to get into the data cleaning phase now. I have extracted the data. I'm getting into the data cleaning phase. And one disclaimer here, this doesn't represent the real world. Like, there are a lot of cleaning and lot of extraction and pre-processing step that gets into if you are getting into the real client problem. But this will be a really good, overview of how it will look like. So I'm going to clean my data. I'm going to check if there is any null values. Luckily, I don't have any null values, but I have some blank values, right? So for the purpose of this experiment, we have about 21 features in the data set, but I'm going to take like 9 of them here. So I'm going to select certain columns, not all. Yes, there is no null value, but when I did my pre-processing, I observed that I have some blank value, which will affect me because I can't be using the string value as it is. I need to convert string to a number, right? So what I did is I basically, updated all the blank values with 0. So these are my data pre-processing step. And next is the encoding part. I won't be able to directly use those string values you saw here, this male, female, yes, no, fiber optic, all that I'm highlighting here, right? I won't be able to use as it is, so I need to encode. So what I'm doing is I'm encoding no to 0, yes value to 1. And I suspect there will be some bias in the gender feature. So I'm taking male as 1 and encoding female as 0. And all the other category or column or all the other, column with string values, I'm going to do one hot encoding, right? So I have a picture here depicting what this one hot encoding is. If you're not familiar with the concept, what it does is, let's say you have 2 unique value, right? In your churn or in your response, you have 2 unique value, yes or no. Basically what you can do, let's say you can't use the string value, right? You need to convert string to number. What you can do is you can take yes as 0 and no as 1. And that concept is called label encoding. What is this one hot encoding, right? What it does is you're going to take unique values like yes or no. We had 2 unique values, right? So your one column will be split into 2 columns, and this is response yes and this is response no. If it is a response yes, you will put 1 here. If that's a response no, you will put 1 here, right? You can read more about one hot encoding, but this is like high level picture of how it will look like. And again, if you have any question, if you want more clarity on the concept, please feel free to reach out to me through LinkedIn. I'm always ready to help you guys out. So yes, I did some basic pre-processing. Now I got my encoded data, all string converted to numbers. Everything, no null values, no blank values, no string values, everything encoded. It's all ready, right? Now go back. What I have done now is we did the data extraction, data cleaning, and then now we are getting into the model development phase. But before, let's go back. How your regular process will look without bias analysis, right? And again, if you see, this is a highly imbalanced data set. You have a lot of data with, one group and very less representative of other groups. Is a highly imbalanced data. And in this notebook, I have provided ways for you to deal with imbalanced data. But for this example, I'm going to use the boosting technique, which is like the goal is to classify example. So every time, every round, all the incorrectly classified, data will be taken, and we'll train again on the incorrectly classified samples, and we are going to predict, right? We keep combining many weak and inaccurate rules. So basically, I just use the AdaBoost classifier here, split the data set into test, train and test, and the best practice is to have train, validation and test. But for the sake of demo, I have train and test split. I'm splitting the data set basically into train and test. And yes, I'm fitting the model and I'm getting the test accuracy. So this is how your regular process will at least look like, right? If not exactly, at least this is how it will look like. Now we are going to insert concept of bias analysis. Let's say you are a data scientist, right? I think you're a data scientist. You're solving this customer problem, and you feel, okay, there is a bias feature there, and I'm suspecting that there'll be some bias in that area, right? Maybe like one gender is getting, positive outcome most of the time compared to other gender, for example. And I'm not creating any, like imbalance here. This is just an example, so take it light. So I was thinking, so this is like a lot of new concept, right? So whenever I introduce to people, I used to think, okay, what is the easy way for me to, convey? If not, I used to go in person and take class. It was easy. So now it's all online. So I want like a simple example to at least talk about. So yeah, so this is the one. Let's say you are going to a shop to buy a dress, right? There'll be different features to buy a dress. You might buy based on the style, based on the design, based on color or price, right? Let's say I'm more biased towards color. So especially blue color. So if whenever I find a blue color dress, I would just directly go and grab it, right? So, and obviously if I make a prediction system for this, whenever my model sees the color blue, it's going to tell me, okay, she's going to buy the dress, right? That is, can you see the bias here? I'm neither seeing the style nor seeing the design or nothing else. I'm just going, getting bias to the color, right? So this color here is the protected attribute. Now just understand three terms here. So this color specifically is a protected attribute, and this blue color is a privilege. I'm giving more privilege to this color, right? And obviously it's going to give me a favorable result, which is I'm going to buy, right? That's all the terms are. There's a big definition, there's a lot of documentation, but if you take this simple example, you will understand how to approach a problem, right? It's always a good practice to take your own example and then try to understand. So that's a practice I followed. So when I actually got into data science, I used to take every single algorithm, relate to my daily life, right? Relate to my daily life, and then try to understand as I approach them, right? So when I start connecting with my daily life, I was able to understand the concept better and easy. It's no more a nightmare or no more something difficult for me to deal with, right? So you have the color. I'm always biased towards the color, so it's called protected attribute. So I need to protect this. I need to make sure that my mind doesn't get biased towards the color, right? So I need to protect the color attribute. It's called protected attribute. And what is the color I always like? It's a blue color. So that's called privileged protected attribute. So whenever I see a blue colored dress, I always buy, and that's called a favorable label, right? So I'm gonna give everything to my system. Basically, this particular algorithm will know, okay, this it's biased towards certain feature in your data set. That's the assumption that will take and try to excuse me, and that's the assumption it will basically take and try to do it. So the first step you need to do is you need to check, okay, this is your assumption, you assume that there is a bias in the gender, right? So try to do some assumption analysis here. So I'm using, there are, as I mentioned before, there are about like 70 metrics. I'm using like statistical parity difference metric here. So when I see, when I analyze, it's not zero. So for sure, there is some bias in the data set. And going back here, now I have evaluated, right? I have evaluated if there is a bias. And now I need to use my algorithm to mitigate it. So coming back, I'm using one of the pre-processing algorithm, which is reweighing algorithm. So what it basically does is based on the example, based on the protected attribute that I spoke before, it kind of put weights on your example. So the outcome is the bias is removed from your, at least mitigated from your data set. So basically I'll use the algorithm to mitigate the bias. And let's say I have mitigated bias from the data set. Now, if I check again, I should be able to get zero, at least near zero, right? So mission accomplished here. I know how to, I converted to the toolkit compatible dataset. I use some of the metrics to check my assumption if there is a bias, if there's an actual bias in the gender. And then I use one of my algorithm here to mitigate it. And then I rechecked bias again. And now, yes, and we have 0.000, which is awesome. We have tried to mitigate it. Now I'm going to take this clean data, right? This bias mitigated data, and I'm going to give to my model. Here it's AdaBoost classifier. I'm going to give it to my model. And now I'm going to do now we are going to do the same process, right? You're going to fit your model. You're going to train your model. You can even do a 5-fold like cross validation model, 5-fold or whichever, like n-fold cross validation model, and then do hyperparameter tuning, and then you evaluate, you deploy. It's a regular process you follow after, right? So that's how you use the tool. All I was trying to show you is this process. You stop till you are cleaning, you take your toolkit. If it's a pre-processing, again, this example is for pre-processing, which is before your model development. You evaluate, you try to mitigate, and then you send back to your model, and again you evaluate your model and deploy it, right? So this is an example that I wanted to say. I know we have 8 more minutes left here. So I want to quickly, give an overview of the Linux Foundation Trusted AI Committee. So what is this? If you go to this link, which will be posted through Kuvi, you will find a mailing list. You will find invite to you will find the calendar invite. The call happens monthly once. And there are 2 groups, right? If you're more interested in the use case, okay, what is the use case that I can think for the trusted AI, right? Then there's a use case group. There is also the principles group, right? They work on, principles that you need to follow, guidelines that you need to follow when you're, dealing with creating AI application. And there are like Slack channels that are available through which you can actually communicate with, all the maintainers or the committers of these amazing projects, amazing open source projects that will be sent to you all. and these are good set of resources I want to take. So I personally like this, right? Whenever I give a talk, I want to make sure people take something out of it and make sure that's it's usable, be it it could be any wiki or it could be announcements, Slack channel, whatever. It's right. It's useful at every point in your career. If you are searching for a job, if you're trying to get in data science field, if you're already in data science field, all these references will be really useful for you. And yes, so with this, thank you so much, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I really can't thank enough for this great opportunity that you have given me, and I hope I've made some justice
Thank you so much.
and people are aware of it now.
Yeah, there's kind of like for starters, it might be a little difficult to understand. But the people who already are into the field or at least know how this and all works would have been more kind of knowledge sharing with them. They would have understood like how it actually works. And I was quite a little curious about how this works for the facial app you were talking about. So thank you so much, Shruti. Anything that you would like to personally say for people who are stepping into AI?
Yes. So first thing, I got to know about data science when I started doing my masters in electrical engineering. Right. I did my undergrad. Uh, I did my instrumentation engineering. Got into software, and again got into electrical, and then I was exposed to data science. So there is no time limit, right? I didn't take like great I'm not a PhD graduate, so I personally believe it's your project that make your profile, right? Learn every single day, put yourself out in the community, be bold, be brave to experiment. There is nothing wrong or right here. People are there out to help you, and I have met amazing people for the past 4 years who helped me grow to where I am today. So I would like to thank everyone who helped me in this journey as well through this medium. And yes, so there is it's not something rocket science, it's not something out of the world, or even the bias concept, right? Even if you are a beginner in the data science, I would urge you to understand this, because if you do a project with these concepts, it's going to speak a lot, right? Ethical AI, trusted AI is the hot concept. So make sure, if you are a beginner, if you want to know more about it, you have my LinkedIn here. Feel free to connect, and I can help you create, or create a project, and you can understand this better.
That is so sweet of you. And hope this session was very much useful. And people who are watching this, you guys, we thank Sai for taking so much of effort in sharing whatever she has did in the PPT. And it was quite impressive. You have taken a long time. Maybe I'm not sure. You said it's early morning there, but still, thank you for the time that you have taken. And we would definitely like to have you sometime else exploring some other topics in AI. And definitely it would be like, what would you tell to the crowd on this AI for India that we have done?
So this is there's just so much data each of us are generating, honestly, right? So please make sure you are aware of it. Ask why, right? Keep know where you are giving your data, and this is a great platform for you to get exposed to these technologies. These are existing, this is easy to do, this is AI is for everyone, right?
AI for everyone. Wow.
That's my belief.
Yeah, maybe
So
in 20 years, the stage that we would have gone through AI would take us to a place like even kids are very much aware of what it is. And they might be able to create their own applications, their own stuffs using AI. So
exactly.
we are actually looking for something better, a better world through AI. That's what you also have said. So thank you so much for participating. Thank you so much for sharing all that you have done. And yeah, have a great day. And also, the day is going to start. Thank you for the time that you have taken.
Thank you so much for having me here. And if there's any question, please feel free to forward it to me. Happy to answer.
She is there in LinkedIn, guys, and she's very much comfortable sharing the knowledge in AI that she already has said. So please feel free to connect her regarding any projects if you would like to.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And
Thank you
nice
so
meeting
much. Yeah, same here. Thank you for being a lovely speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
So guys, we have regular it's been 2 hours since we started the session, and we also have Utpal sir who has joined us here. So he would be taking the session forward, and I would like to give a small introduction about Utpal sir. So Utpal Chakrabarti sir, hi sir, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you for asking, sir.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, sir, you're very much audible.
Okay, thank you.
So to say about Utpal sir, he has worked with the huge giants. He's also a TEDx speaker. He is the head of artificial intelligence in Yes Bank right now, and he has worked with Capgemini. He has worked with IBM, and we are really glad to have you here, sir.
Thank you so much.
So what would you think about our AI for India?
So it's a great initiative, in fact. So when I heard about this, so this kind of initiative is actually required for India, because we are already a IT superpower, right? And we would like to be AI superpower also. And this kind of initiatives will definitely help our new generation and our all aspirants and young data scientists to get knowledge from different industry experts. And also it is a great platform to showcase their capabilities as well.
Thank you, sir. So apart from this, we have a lot of audience, and we are yet to have already it's live streaming. And later on the future, people will know what we have done and how it's going to affect the future of the AI. So to bring in AI, how did you start, sir? What was your interest when you stepped into this?
Yeah, so it is around 8.5, 9 years ago when I was thrown into a project, and at that point of time, I was not aware of much about machine learning, deep learning, and all those things. But I started digging into. In fact, my entire team started digging into the subject. In fact, that project was not pure ML project; it was a NLP project, natural language processing. And also we collaborated with a couple of academia like IITs again. And also we got trained from some abroad trainer at that point of time. And then we delivered that project. So that's how the journey started. And since then, I have been studying, I have been doing a lot of research on that. I've been publishing papers into deep neural network and all those things. And I found it very, very interesting. So it is 8.5-year journey. And almost every day, I used to learn some new things. I used to publish some new things, kind of things. It's a continuous thing, and I really enjoy doing that.
So now machine learning, artificial intelligence is a kind of like part of your life, and you have been doing a lot of research on those. So yes, sir, over to you. You can take forward and you can share your knowledge, and we will be glad to have you through.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So what I will do is,
Yes.
I have got a small presentation. So I'll share some of the use cases that I was part of, or I have designed, or I have developed, and my team has developed. I think that will give some kind of a perspective of how artificial intelligence is used in especially in banking and finance. Okay? Because banking and finance is one of the major what do you call investor, or you can say it's a major the adoption of artificial intelligence in banking and finance industry is huge, and it is going to be again huge. So I think audience will get some perspective.
Cool, sir. Cool. So this is going to be like how commerce industry is affected and how it's modifying itself to the upper grade of AI, right? Machine learning.
That is correct. That is correct.
Cool. Cool. Thank you so much, sir. Please carry on, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'll just share my
Yes,
screen. I have got a small presentation. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. So hello all. It is really nice to be here. So I'll quickly jump into this presentation. Actually, the entire banking and finance industry is going through a revolutionary transformation. Okay, and it is like transforming everything. Okay, starting from their products, their processes, their strategies. And how I see this transformation is from digitization to cognification. So now this word cognification, you will not get in dictionary. So this is my word, and I keep on using this word in my books, in my blogs, and in different conferences. So cognification, you can think of it is the topmost layer of digitization. So digitization today, probably you can say it is a hygiene. Okay, so we have done, or we have digitized all the physical services today. But now it is the time to actually cognify those. Okay? And now cognifying means bringing that intelligence, or bringing that human intelligence element into your digitization process is essentially called cognification. And the entire industry, banking and finance, or you talk about any industry, they are trying to transform their whole ecosystem, whether it is product, okay, or whether it is their processes or their strategies, even with this kind of a transformation. So that's what is the trend today. And if you look at different analysts like your Gartner, Forrester, and all, they are also saying the same thing. So it is the time for embracing technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and quantum computing is also coming in couple of years. It will be available to everyone. Now it is little bit on the research stage, but it is going to come. And quantum and AI is going to be a killer combination. Okay, and when I say killer combination, it is not in the negative sense, but it is going to be a blessing for the humanity, because many of the unsolved today with AI and machine learning actually will be solved by quantum, right? So quantum and AI is a great combination, and that is going to come. So now when we talk about automation, so now automation is everywhere, right? So cognitive automation, how cognitive automation is different from the normal automation. So as it is automation, so definitely there will be some angle of cost, some angle of time saving, and bringing some kind of efficiency into the table. So that angle is always there. Okay? So when you say automation, but in case of cognitive automation, the most important thing is what kind of value actually you can bring into the table. Okay, which is probably not possible through normal conventional approach. Okay, so that's where the cognitive automation comes into picture, and AI and machine learning is the enabler for the cognitive automation. So these are the main pillars, you can say, for doing any kind of cognitive automation. Now coming to the banking and finance, as I will be talking more on the banking and finance because my experience goes towards that. So here, so there are two reasons basically why the financial industry, financial sector cannot avoid AI. Okay, so it is not a choice today; it is a compulsion. Okay, so because number one, banking and finance is a data-intensive business. Okay, and they deal with your data. So whoever there is into a data-intensive business, so today or tomorrow, they will have to embrace a technology like AI and machine learning. Okay, so there is no escape for that. Okay? So they will have to. So that is our, and the reason behind that is with that data, because they knows their customer probably most intimately, okay, than any other business, okay? Because the banking and financing, because they have got your financial data, your financial information. So the relationship between a financial institution and a customer is, I think, the most intimate relationship than if you talk about any other business. And with this data, actually, they can do a lot of brilliant predictions and recommendations for their customers. Okay, and also today, if you look at any kind of I mean, any customer, they would like to see a very customized and personalized kind of a product or a service or a recommendation for them. right? So nobody wants a generic kind of a recommendation or a generic kind of a product kind of thing. Okay, so people doesn't care. People wants it should fit into my requirement. It should fit into my needs. It should fit into my socio-economical what do you call background. So for doing that, it is very, very essential that we use a technology like machine learning, which can actually give a very, very personalized and customized recommendation or any kind of products or services which fits into completely fits into the requirement of the customer. Okay, and that is not possible in a traditional way or by human. So human probably they can do it, but it will be not in that scale. Okay, so but with machine learning, you can actually integrate multiple data sets. Okay, so now people are talking about customer 360-degree data. That means you know your customer from all the 360-degree angles. So if you have that kind of a data, and you can actually do a very precise kind of a recommendation, and you can actually give them products which are completely in align with their requirement and their background. Okay, so these are the reasons, these are the key drivers why banking and financial industry is basically investing a lot on that. Okay, so now today we will be seeing that most of the banks, they have started gathering their data science team, building their data science team, data science COE. Okay, started developing use cases on machine learning, deep learning, and other things. Now, coming to the banking sector, because see, as financial industry, it is like how much I will be investing on something, on technology or on any technology or any new technology, and how much return on investment I will get. Okay, because this is the business. So how actually you can turn AI into ROI? Okay, ROI means return on investment. So, so these are the known use cases in the banking and financial industry. So anybody knows that. I think probably most of you are aware of that. Okay, so fraud detection being one of the major area. So when it comes to fraud detection, the fraud detection landscape, okay, is a versatile landscape. There are many types of, and this field is evolving like anything. Okay, because the fraudsters, they are also evolving. They are also becoming more and more intelligent. They are also coming up with new innovative ideas. Okay, for doing this fraudulent activities. So here, the conventional way of rule-based kind of a mechanism. Okay, so this fraud detection systems were they are earlier also. But the problem with those systems are those were basically rule-based system. So you write thousands of, 10,000s of lines of code with different rules into that. Okay, when a particular transaction. So I'll give you an example, probably a credit card fraud kind of a thing. Okay, so when there is a transaction which falls under those kind of categories, those kind of rules, it will raise a red flag, right? But as these fraudsters are basically evolving and they're coming up with newer and newer innovative techniques, fraudulent techniques. So this rule-based system doesn't work. So here you need an adaptive system. Okay, adaptive system in the sense as the ecosystem is maturing, your fraud detection system also need to adapt to that kind of a scenario. Okay, and that is only possible through machine learning. That is not possible through any other way, at least today. Okay, so here machine learning is playing a very, very important role, and most of the fraud detection systems today. Okay, it could be in any area. It could be in anti-money laundering. It could be in normal what do you call credit card fraud. It could be instant money transfer fraud. There are many types of fraud. So everywhere machine learning is playing a major role. So you should be aware of this. This is a very big area, okay, and there are a lot of opportunities also in this kind of these things. So there are some solutions, there are products are also available, but still people also develop their own solutions and products for their enterprise or their organization. Similarly, credit risk assessment. Okay, so before giving any kind of financial aid to your customer, you can actually do an assessment of the risks, giving that financial aid to the customer. And this is again possible looking into various data sources, okay, and coming up with a kind of a recommendation that whether this person is eligible for giving any kind of financial aid, or if yes, how much, okay. So that is also there. And if there is a risk, what is the mitigation plan for that, okay. So everything can be done using machine learning. So here in this area, nowadays, very recently, there are behavioral analytics also came into picture, wherein they look at, so there are in some countries, there are some systems or solutions or apps available for giving small loans to the people without looking into their documents or without looking into their income and all those things, right? So they don't require that. They only track the behavior of the person, okay, through their mobile phone. It's a mobile phone, from your mobile phone, if I gather data, so I'll come to know at least 80-90% of your behavior, okay, how you, where you go, where you spend, what kind of things actually you like to buy, at what point of time, okay, when money comes into your account and when money goes out of your account, in which different ways. And if I know that, okay, on the basis of that only, I can use machine learning to give you a financial aid, saying that, yeah, hi, I mean, this person is trustworthy to give this much amount of loan. Okay? And there is a very interesting thing. So I came to know that in that particular system, they track about more than 1,000 parameters from different parameters from your mobile app. Okay, and one of those parameters is basically how much battery life you are normally carrying on your mobile phone. Okay, and or what is the brand of your mobile. So this is interesting. Although these are very minuscule kind of factors, but still they can contribute something, a very minimum, to the decision-making process. Okay, so it looks like, I mean, if you are always running out of battery, okay, so it looks like you are not a responsible person. So although it is not the case, because I also run out of battery many times in my mobile phone, but that's what I mean. They look into the behavior from all the angles, and then they decide giving you any kind of financial aids. I mean, this is a very brilliant kind of a system. Similarly, on the high-speed trading, everyone is available. So now in trading, it is all machine learning. Any kind of prediction and forecasting in the banking area. So there are many these things. So now coming to the payments area. So now there are payment mechanisms like smart wallets are there. And also, so payments is with artificial intelligence, the payment is going to be seamless. Okay, it is already seamless, and it is embedded within the customer journey today. So you need not actually have to worry about payments. Okay, so I mean, tomorrow probably you will see, like you may not have to do any kind of intervention while doing any kind of payments. Okay, so it is within your journey, and especially the cross-border payments. Okay, those are a little bit due to regulatory and different kind of this things. So those are a little bit cumbersome. But with the use of AI and machine learning, even the cross-border transactions are also now very, very smooth and very, very these things. And it is going to be again smoother in coming days. So still, it is a little bit hassle is there, but it will be completely hassle-free. Okay, so these are here also. There is a huge use of machine learning models and all other models. And then anti-money laundering, I talked about the robo-advisors for giving any kind of advice to the portfolios. So that is a big use case. Okay. So you do not need not require a person having 30-40 years of experience to give you advice. Okay. So AI can advise you much better because it knows the data points. Okay, it continuously interrogates the data points, and it can give you much wiser and much intelligent recommendation than a human being. Because with our limited capacity, we will not be able to look into all the data points, all the factors, or all the parameters kind of thing, which AI is very good into. Similarly, there are various types of recommendation, various flavors of recommendation engine, and these are all powered by machine learning. Then there are other use cases. I will not go to each and every these things. And now the chatbots and virtual assistants are also available, which we call conversational AI, right? So conversational AI is very, very hot. because all the big giants, whether it is Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and all those things, they have got a huge focus on conversational AI. And that's why you see like every year in Google I/O, okay, Sundar Pichai will be talking about conversational AI, right? How a conversational bot is basically booking a restaurant or booking a haircut salon kind of a thing, because they know it's the future. Okay, so conversational AI is going to be one of the hottest area in the AI landscape in coming years. Okay, no doubt about it. Okay, and while it comes to banking, so it is going to be conversational banking. Okay, so people would love to do any kind of banking in a conversational way rather than the conventional way of doing it through net banking, mobile banking, and all those things, right? So these are some of the use cases. Of course, there are many, and in fact, if you look at actually now, some of the industry experts are telling that embedded AI is going to be a very hot what do you call area in banking and finance, especially. So what is embedded AI? So essentially now, if you look at, so I've got many enterprise applications, right, in banking ecosystem or a finance, or any enterprise for that matter, and how to bring intelligence within that enterprise applications to give that customer experience or to give that seamless experience to the customers. So that is going to be a huge this thing. So this is nothing but embedding those machine learning and deep learning models into different parts of that system where that intelligence is required, right? So that is also going to be very hot in coming days, right? So now coming to a platform, right, or you can say a framework, okay? And I have published a paper on this, and this paper has been appreciated by many universities, many premier engineering colleges across the globe. So here, while an enterprise or any business, if they want to start their AI journey, okay, how a simple platform, okay, or a simple what do you call framework, AI framework, can help in their journey. Okay, so I've given a diagram here. So the diagram may look a little bit complicated, but this is damn easy. Okay, so there is nothing in this diagram. So you can actually build this platform with only a couple of components. Okay. So definitely, what I'll just give a brief about what I'm talking in this diagram is essentially any AI application will require data, okay, and that data also quality data, okay. And when I say quality data, there are many aspects of it, okay. So one of those aspects is that data should have some kind of a meaning, okay. It should contribute some kind of a meaning. Contribute to some kind of a meaning, because ultimately you are trying to extract the meaning out from that data, okay. And if data doesn't have any kind of meaning into it, okay, or if it cannot contribute to the meaning, then that data has no value, okay. So while you start your AI journey, before starting AI journey, in fact, starting your data journey is very important. So data engineering and AI is interrelated, okay. So probably you build a data lake, or you build a data warehouse, or any kind of data distributed data system like Hadoop or any big data kind of system. And a platform, AI platform, can sit on top of a data ecosystem, and it should actually have a seamless connection with the data. Actually, if you want to build a solution, that is the ideal way of doing that. And then you can have many capabilities, AI capabilities to do. So in many cases, you need not have to build your AI capabilities of your own. Okay, so many of the capabilities are already available. Okay, so you go to Microsoft Azure Cognitive Services, you have got many capabilities. You can directly use those. Okay, similarly, Amazon also provides, and other things also provide. But for specific purposes, definitely you need to develop. Okay, so it is like building a website. Okay, so if you want to build a personal website or a website for the fun or a small business, so you have got hundreds of options, right? So you can go to Google and you can search and you can drag and drop, your website will be ready. But think of, if you want to build a website for an enterprise, definitely that way you will not be able to do it. You will have to do the custom development. So the same thing applies for AI also. So AI use cases. So you definitely can build some of the AI use cases using some available components available with some providers. And you just call those APIs and just build those. But if you want to build out-of-the-box solution or a solution for enterprise, and there is a you require a specific or a kind of accuracy for your models and all this. Then definitely you need to build your own models. You need to do tuning of those models, training of those models, then tuning of those models, and see how it works on that particular database. And then you want to deploy that model into your production and see, continuously monitor how it is performing, whether there is a dip at any point of time, and all those things. So that you'll have to see. So here it is like both. Okay, so you can have your own indigenously developed components, as well as you have got components available in the market. Also, you have got a technology stack. So nowadays there are a lot of things available. You started from scikit-learn, then PyTorch, and all those things, and now TensorFlow is very, very hot. So everyone is using TensorFlow because it is a scientific language and you can do it. So, and also your AI applications are not isolated, right? I mean, it cannot be isolated. Your AI model cannot be an isolated. So it should be part of a application, right? So you should have a seamless way of deploying those models into your actual application, and they should work seamlessly within your application in a connected way. Okay. For that, you need to have those adapters or connectors, how you connect to those kind of applications. So probably in banking, okay, so your recommendation engines are going into some your mobile banking kind of environment, or any other kind of, or in your chatbot kind of thing. So this is important. And in a very advanced stage, okay, your AI platform or your AI framework should be able to have some template use cases, right? So if I want to build a robo-advisor, okay, or a recommendation engine, so I should have a template. I can just drag and drop that use case into my workbench. It is most likely like any IDEs, right? Integrated development tools. So it is also going to be like that. So you drag and drop that template use case, okay? And the minimalistic algorithm and minimalistic connection to your different data sources and all other things will be ready for you, okay? So in that way, how it helps is, nowadays, everything starts with a POC, right? Especially for this kind of technologies, which are still maturing and evolving kind of a technology. So you start with a POC, proof of concept, and then you go for a full-blown project. So in that way, if you have a platform or a framework like this, you can actually build your or do R&D, okay, on any use cases, okay, in a very rapid manner, okay, because as you people probably already aware of, for building any kind of AI machine learning use case, 70% of the time goes for preparing your data, all the preparation kind of work, okay, preparing your data, then making that training data, and then do all those things. So I mean, writing models is a couple of lines of code today, okay, so this is not a big deal. So that work will already been taken care by this kind of a platform. Okay, so this is very, very, so this is my recommendation to any enterprise or any this thing. So before they start there, if they have already started, then okay, then also they can start doing that. But if they have not started and they are planning to start, I think they should invest a little bit on a platform or a framework, so that it will make their life easy. Okay, because AI is an evolving thing, and definitely there will be an angle of R&D into any AI use case. It is not like a conventional Java J2E or a .NET kind of a project. Okay, so where there is a straightforward. It is not like that. So you'll have to do, as a data scientist, you will have to do experiments. So this model doesn't work, or it is working, but it is not giving the desired result. So I will change that model. I do hyperparameter tuning, this, that, and all those things. So a lot of things are there. I mean, depending on situation. So now I'll talk about a very small use case. Okay, but this is, I think, applicable for almost all types of industries. Okay. So any enterprise, okay, or any business is basically a document-intensive business. So you will see any business or any industry, they generate a lot of documents throughout the year. Okay, And these documents are like a variety of documents. Some of them are human generated, some of them are machine generated, some of them are handwritten, some of them are in doc format, some of them are Excel format, some of them are PDF format, some of them are images of handwritten these things. So huge number of documents. And today, everybody knows that data is like gold. Okay, so everybody wants to preserve their data. Okay? So when it comes to structured data, it is all okay. Okay, if it is in a tabular format, or even if it is a semi-structured data, getting meaning out of those data is very, very easy. You can run any kind of analytics and kind of these things is very, very easy. But when it comes to completely unstructured data, okay, so although you are saving those data, you are thinking because this is going to be my gold mine, but to actually mine the gold mine is a big challenge. Okay, so in reality, your all unstructured data is again uh, 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 only lying on your repository unused. Okay, you are not actually getting any meaning out of that, okay? Because reading those documents and actually processing those and then run analytics on top of that is a real problem even today. Although there are a lot of solutions are available, no doubt there are many solutions available which can actually do that, but they are again specific to a particular domain or a particular problem. Okay, so here one solution that is again on a high level, which actually works on uh, uh, many types of these types of document. Not all, I will not say all, okay, because that will be overpromised. But it can work on many types of documents. So here, if you look at the high level these things, so here almost all the types of technologies that comes under artificial intelligence umbrella, because artificial intelligence is the umbrella term, right? It's a big term under which things comes like machine learning. Under machine learning, there is something called deep learning, which is basically the neural networks, different type of neural networks. And NLP also comes under that natural language processing. Then there are other things also. Okay? So a lot of many things are there. So here, almost you use everything. It's a very simple thing, just to process your unstructured document and bring some key information out of those documents, okay, and get some meaning out of that, okay, as per your requirement. And it is unstructured document in all PDF format. As I told you, JPEG format, this format, that's the handwritten, machine written kind of thing. Okay, but for do that, you end up using all kind of techniques there. So I'll give you an example like that. So when somebody actually get hospitalized, right? So what happens? Like if he has a insurance claim, so he will show his cashless card and all those things, and he will be admitted and all that. Okay, so he will not be charged anything. But how the hospital actually gets the money from the insurance company, right? And it takes actually months. It used to take months to get the money from the insurance company for the hospitals. Why? Because all your bills, all your diagnostic reports, all your medicine reports, all your prescriptions, this, that, and all those things, what the hospital will be doing, they will bundle it into a zip folder and they will upload into a cloud drive. Okay, and everything. So here you will find machine generated things, because many of the diagnostic reports are blood report, your X-ray report, this report, that report, CT scan, MRI, and all other reports and all those things. These are all machine generated formats, right? And doctors will be writing in a handwritten format. Then there will be prescription. Medical bill will be sometimes machine generated, sometimes hand generated. Then your normal room bill, this, that, and all those things, everything, okay, food bill, everything. They'll bundle it and they'll put it into that. So now there is a back office team, okay, which will do, okay, it will go through, eyeball through each and every document, okay, with a checklist, and they will identify different parameters out of this document. And after that, they will create a report, and that report will go to different kind of manual verification, and then finally it will go to a doctor. So every insurance company has a doctor. Okay? So any insurance claim which is beyond a particular threshold limit, what it will do is it will say that, okay, fine, it will go to the doctor, and doctor will actually approve, and then only he will verify. So in this process, it takes months. Okay, 1 month, 1.5 months, 2 months sometimes. But if solution like this, okay, and this solution is versatile. It can be used in many areas, okay, many areas. This is a high-level diagram. Definitely, with this diagram, you will not be able to build a system. There are many nitty-gritties into that. Just to give you some idea, I prepared that. So it can process in only, I mean, the machine can process in a couple of seconds or probably minute all the documents and give you a report, and then your process are there in different way. So in the total time, okay, will be couple of days only, probably 2-3 days, okay, and it is possible, and it has already been implemented in many places, okay, and they have been able to do a lot of cost saving and also bring efficiency on that, because there are human errors. Okay, so these people normally they do also many errors, okay, and a lot of back and forth is there. So this is the classic example, and now you can think there could be many use cases in the similar line, because most of the enterprises mainly they are doing with documents, okay, and they generate documents, but these documents are only archived. They never go back to those documents to find some intelligence out of that, because it is not possible for many years, because we don't have that kind of a proven solution, okay, although now a lot of solutions are coming slowly and slowly. Now similar thing can be applied to a email analytics kind of a solution. So for example, take any company, so probably Geo, okay? So every morning you will say info@geo.com email box will be bombarded with millions of emails, right, in the morning, because a lot of customer complaints, these, that, different kind of emails. Now to process those emails, they have got a big team of people, okay, hundreds of people are sitting to just to process those emails, but still people send an email to such kind of, I'm not taking any name, any organization. The TAT for responding to emails is couple of days, and in nowadays in 21st century, can you think of like waiting for the response of the email for a couple of days? When you require something, you need it urgently. This is because the limitation of the email processing system, okay. So they will have to, this team what they will be doing, this team will distribute these emails into different team members, and then they will start manually processing all these documents. Now the similar solution that I talked about, this thing is you can build a solution wherein it will read the body of the email, it will read the subject line of the email, it will read even the attachment of the email, and also it will try to find out some meaning from the body and subject line of the email, okay, and it can actually what do you call, group those emails into different categories, and it will put it into a dashboard, okay. So this, out of these million emails, probably these 100 emails are of escalation, okay, very important, highly. So in the morning itself, when the email team lead, he enters into that, he looks at the dashboard and, okay guys, these 100 emails, okay, in next 1 hour or 1.5 hours, we'll have to address this. These are high important, okay, some escalation happened, okay, customer escalation or something like that. Okay, then probably there are a couple of thousand emails which are follow-up emails. Okay, we can take it tomorrow. Then probably there will be many thousands of emails which are just, they are requiring some information. Okay, send me some form, send me some this billing details, send me that billing details, this, that, and all those things. So there you can use RPA, okay, robotic process automation. So they will just attach those forms and all those things and auto respond those emails. They will get that. So now the whole email ecosystem, because this is also very important. So email is also a very important communication channel, okay, for an enterprise and customer. Okay, it is very important. But unfortunately, this is a time-taking kind of a process. But utilizing this kind of a system, actually you can make it very fast and very instantaneous, right? And it is possible. And this kind of solutions people have built, and I have also built some solutions in the similar line. Similarly, I talked about chatbot. Okay, so now chatbots are not only for QMS. Okay, so at least in the banking environment, it is now banks and financial institutions. Okay, not only banks, any financial institution you can take, they are trying to put more and more transactions into the chatbot. Okay, because they see no value giving only FAQs, frequently asked questions or something like that, because those are anyways available in many places. Now, if I can empower my customer giving some kind of a transactions, okay, so that they can perform transactions within this kind of system, that will add more value. And in today's scenario, if you look at lockdown, pandemic, and all those things, so all banks, financial institutions, and all other these things, they are trying to render more and more services into their digital channels, right? So that is one of the core focus area. So in that, if you look at this chatbots, okay, or this conversational banking systems are playing a major role. So it is not only chatbot. It could be chatbot. It could be WhatsApp banking. It could be your what do you call voice banking today, because many banks has rendered their services into Alexa or Google Home kind of a devices. Kind of thing. So that is also very important nowadays. And this is also a very these things. And this conversational AI engines are becoming more and more intelligent, because the NLP engine, the heart of any conversational AI engine, AI system is NLP engine, and also the deep learning, because nowadays they use deep learning models for that. Okay, so a deep learning model which is trained for huge number of conversations can actually do things very efficiently. Okay, and it is almost human-like. In many cases, you will not be able to identify whether you are talking to a chatbot or a human is sitting on the other side. Okay? It takes time for that. This is because the NLP engines are getting matured, so they are applying a lot of things, and also different models, deep learning model that I told you are coming. Like for example, in your you can see in your Google Translate, okay, or even you look at Google search. So behind the scene, the deep learning model is running. For the translate, the LSTM kind of a model is running, long short-term memory kind of a model, which is a variant of recurrent neural network. Things are running. Okay, so again, that is a different subject altogether. That is a little bit complicated than your normal machine learning models. The normal machine learning models are basically the statistical models. So they're coming from statistical or mathematical model. But as you people are aware of, deep learning is basically inspired by human neural system, how our human neural system works, right? And just to give you an example, very basic example of how human neural system works, because I give that example everywhere. So you can essentially think of our, so let's take our visual system, okay, how it works, okay? So when we see an object, okay, any object, so light rays from that object comes to our eyes, it falls into our retina, and it goes to our visual cortex, okay? So in that visual cortex, what happens that light energy is essentially, it is transformed into electrical signals, right? And after that, it falls into different layers of neurons. So neurons are a special type of cell, okay? It has got a potential difference of around minus 50 microvolt from the surrounding, right? And the speciality of this cell is basically when the electrical signal falls into this kind of cell, the neuron, the protein synthesis actually starts within that. Is like photosynthesis, right? So essentially, just give me one second. So when electrical signal falls into the neuron, protein synthesis starts, okay? And when this chemical reaction starts, so the potential difference, again, already it has got a potential difference. It is not like normal cell, right? So it has got a minus 50 potential difference between its surrounding. And the potential difference starts increasing, okay? And there is a threshold limit, okay? Beyond that threshold limit, the neuron cannot hold that electrical signal, electrical energy. Okay, it fires the electrical signal to the next neuron, which is connected to connected by something called synapse, right? So it is like a threshold kind of a mechanism. Okay, so it falls into that. If that signal is strong enough, it will fire the neuron, and it will go to the next neuron and next neuron and next neuron. So, and ultimately it will go to the last layer where the actual decision is made. Okay, so that's how the human visual system works. So inspired by saying, okay, we have got neural networks. So similarly, we do the same thing, right? We put some inputs there, and we have got your weights and biases, and it will process. So there is something called that that threshold. To decide that threshold, we have something called activation functions. Okay, so the activation functions will decide whether it needs to be fired to the next layer or not. And then we go to the last layer. So this is the very basic kind of neural network. And when we do training of this neural network, we do something called backpropagation, okay, right? So training that network. So from backward to forward, it comes to and adjusts the weights and biases so that it gives the right prediction, kind of thing. So these are basically neural. So there are many variants of neural networks. The commonly used are your convolutional neural network, which are mainly for image kind of things they are used. And there is something called recurrent neural networks, which are basically for time series kind of a thing, because for convolutional neural network, normally we don't consider the time parameter, but for recurrent neural network, the time parameter is important because there are many data which is time dependent, right? So so those are it. So there are variants of recurrent neural network, because the normal recurrent neural network you cannot use in your real problem. So there is something problem called vanishing gradient or exploding gradient kind of a problem, which actually makes the vanilla recurrent neural network unusable. So that's why there is something called LSTM, long short-term memory, where it's a combination of multiple recurrent neural networks, and it works. And it's a very efficient kind of a way model for any kind of text processing. Okay, so if your data has a long-term dependency kind of a thing, so you use a LSTM. It is the best for that. And many things. So they are also in one of the text processing these things to get the meaning out of these things. We use that LSTM, long short-term memory. So this is another subject, a little bit difficult than the normal machine learning thing, but once you understand, it is very, very easy. Okay, and what I request you all is basically try to understand that, because otherwise, you see, doing coding with artificial intelligence is very easy, but understanding the internals is very, very important. Okay, if you don't understand internal completely, if you don't know the mathematics, then probably it is always going to be a black box for you, or a gray box for you. Probably you will understand something, but you will not understand everything. So that is the reason knowing the mathematics behind each and every model is very, 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 very important for a data scientist. Okay. Now coming to this is again, so if you want to build your own chatbot engine, so this is kind of thing. So I have built one engine which is completely customized kind of a engine kind of thing. So you have got a lot many things. So you can build your own chatbot engine. You may not have to use any. So you have got an intent identifier, then forming utterances and all those things. So you have got anything. You have got core AI model and all other things you can build in that way. Now another area which is nowadays is very, very hot, or they have been in use, especially in banking and financial industry, is basically like your it is kind of using computer vision. Okay, smart identity management. Okay, so you can call it smart identity management or something like that. So using computer vision, so definitely you will have to use computer vision here, video analytics and all other things. So now you can actually safeguard your ATM and all those things. So there could be human intrusion in your ATM. There could be animal intrusion in your ATM. In some rural places, it happens. Cows, buffaloes, dogs, they enter into your ATM. Then there could be some people carrying some kind of a weapon inside your ATM, or they are trying to fight with your security guard, or they are trying to destroy your ATM machine. So now these things can be on real time detected through your CCTV camera. Okay, so it's frame by frame. It is going to do the analytics and find out if there is something happening like this inside your ATM, and it can generate a real time alert to your administrator so that they can blow the siren, or they can do anything and everything. They can send some security guards and all those things into your ATM and everything. So this is also a very important area, and nowadays this smart identity management systems are also getting a lot of traction from banking and finance. And this is not only for ATM. Okay, it could be there in your locker, it could be anywhere, or not only in banking and finance, anywhere it could be there. It could be there in your railway station. It is there in many countries, railway station and railway platforms, and also in airports and all those things. Okay, so this is another area which we should know. Then there are areas like this is again customer targeting. Okay, with geofencing and AI, okay, you can do a very correct recommendation to a very targeted audience. Okay, so somebody entering into a mall, okay, and his economic condition is suitable for buying a very luxurious say television set, digital television, new television, Samsung television set. Okay, and he's just going in front of the store. Automatically an SMS or even send a WhatsApp message to the customer saying that, hey, since you are now in front of Samsung Galaxy store, and there is a beautiful new luxurious television, new television, okay, so would you like to do that? It's very targeted, right? So you should know. I mean, if you are giving this recommendation to somebody who cannot afford that kind of a television, then it is a waste, right? And nobody wants that kind of a recommendation. So it's a targeting. So that can be done with AI platform, and also your geofencing. Okay, geofencing is a known technology. It's not a very old technology. It's kind of thing, and many other things can be done. So you can do footfall count. You can do all other things. Find out so GRS, GPS, and all other things are being used. We have smart alert, smart this kind of things. These are some use cases for capital market. I have just listed down because these are also important. I don't think so. You people will be requiring all those things. So these are specific to that. Okay. So yeah. So I think that's all. So if you have any questions, I can answer. So I made this PPT very quickly so that I have some talking points there. So I wanted to show a few of the use cases, few of these things. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you so much, sir. And it was nice knowing how the banking industry has changed from digital transaction to, am I audible, sir?
Yes.
So from digital transaction, as you said, each and every transaction from there till the CCTV, how things move in and bank, everything has changed. So what is the perspective that you would think, sir, in next coming 5 years would be for India or for the world in AI? Maybe we can take it at 10 years.
Yeah, so it is going to be, so it's a very big revolution, and this technology has a lot of power. Okay, if we can use it in a right direction, right way. So it's a landmark in the history of technological revolution, honestly speaking. But although it is not new, it is very old. But due to some limitations, that the adoption was not that great. But now those limitations has gone. Okay? So now we have got huge data system, we have got huge processing power, and also, as I told you, quantum is coming, okay, which will also contribute.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So definitely, it is going to be a very great time coming forward. By the way, I mean the vaccination that you see today, okay, which takes 15 years. Now you get it within 1 year. So AI has a lot of contribution to this also. Many of the things has been done in a simulated environment using AI and machine learning kind of techniques, and then otherwise the normal before coming into animal trial and human trial only, it takes a lot of time. right?
Yeah.
So they start with those kind of, because I was fortunate to work a little bit on this kind of use cases also. So that is the power of this kind of technology. If we use it in a right way, in a right manner, kind of a thing, so it can do a lot of things.
Yes, sir. That is there. And moreover, now the population who has been working in software has increased. So enormously, like last 15 years back, there have been only few people who will be considered as developers, who will be working with computers. Now the population, as it has increased, so is the education background of the, people who are pursuing careers, they have shifted to engineering and they're more into technical. And maybe in another 10 years we can expect like a lot of innovations, not only in banking industry but simultaneously all the industry is going to change using machine learning and other artificial intelligence. So this currently when we are into the 2021 and it's a COVID situation, so you consider these technologies, how potential are they to have a drastic change?
So already in lockdown, if you see, I mean, so as I told you, like in banks and financial institutions, right? So their focus was to render more and more services into their digital channels, right? So because these are the channels people can access from home or wherever they are
Yes,
there.
sir.
They need not have to do branch banking or banking into ATM. So here AI and all those things played a great role. So talk about WhatsApp banking, talk about your chatbot banking, or talk about even the net banking and all the other things. There are many AI components which are working there. Similarly, as I told you, like in many areas like healthcare or finance, because what I believe is post this pandemic, healthcare industry is going to go through a golden era. Okay,
True.
it's going
Exactly.
it's going through, because people have understood that whatever healthcare infrastructure, healthcare technology, healthcare thing that we have, that is not at all enough today. So people has already started investing on that, and it is going to invest. And this is so here also AI machine learning is going to play a major role. Okay, not only the drug research and those kind of things, but other aspects of healthcare, the digital healthcare, which we call, right? So digital healthcare is going to be a booming field, and it's going to be a golden era for at least another 10 years across the globe. Okay, and lot of engineers and AI data scientists and all those, they are going to get a huge opportunity in this era. That is for sure.
Researchers have increased their research, and there are a lot of research papers that have yet we spoke yesterday with one of our collaborated partners. Buddy AI, Buddy AI CEO and the co-founder were with us. They were talking about a lot of things, how this artificial intelligence has taken, they have taken a road which is yet to discover and yet to explore, and they have done a lot of innovations. They're still researching, and there's 90,000 of research papers are still in pending when it comes for COVID, only for this COVID virus. What if tomorrow brings a lot of other things that we need a lot of changes? We need a lot of people, a lot of technical people who are really sound, not only in medical industry, we also need a lot of people who are yet to explore the nature as well. I feel like not only just because of the COVID we are in lockdown, there are a lot of things that are yet to come, and we have to make a lot of precautions. Maybe AI will give us that power to be very cautious, to not lose the resources that we have today. So I totally believe like whatever resources we have, the earth has, AI is everywhere, but what the earth has, we don't have to lose the resources, and there is definitely something supplement for that. And
Absolutely.
true, sir. And anything that you would like to say about our AI for India, the Guinness World Record that we have achieved?
Yeah. So as I firmly believe, okay, we can transform our post-COVID era into a golden era, into different sectors. So I just talked about healthcare, but for startups also. Okay, it is going to be, because see, the whole focus is now on India. Okay, everyone, because already we have got huge IT power. Okay, we have got infrastructure, we have got academia, we have got industry, collaboration, any kind of courses, okay, are very cheap in India. In other countries, if you go, any new courses you want to take, it is damn costly. So here it is very, very cheap. And also we have got a complete platform to upgrade our normal software engineers into data scientists and all kind. So I would request our young data scientists to actually leverage this ecosystem, and they can really transform the entire this thing. Not only, so it is not only a contribution to themselves, they can contribute to the society, they can contribute to the nation, and they can contribute to the humanity at large. Okay,
Definitely.
so this is an opportunity, and I think any person who is getting this kind of opportunity in their lifetime, they should definitely leverage that. Otherwise, there is no meaning of human life, right? And that we have understood in this pandemic situation. So I welcome all of them to come to such kind of platform. So this platform is a brilliant platform, right? People can share, people can do like this. And there are many other platforms also similar to that. Leverage that, work together. You are working for yourself. At the same time, you are doing a great contribution to the society and to the humanity. And this opportunity people should get. So this is my suggestion, or my word, you can say, or my request.
Thank you so much, sir. And so do the people are also eager to move forward. And we had nearly just till yesterday, we have like 5 lakhs and plus, and it's still in count. We had these many users who are interested in artificial intelligence to take it forward, to know what it is about, how we are gonna enlighten them, how the world is gonna change. So thank you so much for participating here, sir. Thank you so much for your time. We are glad that we had an opportunity to have you here, and you actually made the day. We had a lot of insights. There were like a lot of things that not everyone knew, and we had quite a session here. So thank you so much, sir. And I hope all the best for you, and stay safe with your family. And
Thank you. Thank you so much.
thank you so much, sir. So guys, this was our guest speaker, Mr. Utpal sir. So we also have another speaker who will be joining us shortly. This is going to be a little hectic day, but for the GUI family, but still we are trying our maximum to support a lot of people who has been doing their course completion now in AI. And AI for India is something that we want to reach not only Indians. We had multiple, I mean, a lot of countries who has participated, irrespective of what kind of technical background or non-technical background they had. We had a really good time. We are also counting till 6 p.m. We have our time. So thank you so much for staying together. Thank you so much for taking the part. Here, I would like to mention a few suggestions our team has supported and our team has planned accordingly. Very, very special thanks for AICTE and Buddy AI, who collaborated with us, who guided us, and not to mention the forum of Guinness World Record. So we had a light, we already had a good time with them. So I'll just want to update you guys with things like not only AI, but as a humanity factor, Mr. Utpal sir said. So he told us how this is all gonna change, how this is all gonna make a huge difference. So we will just wait for 2 minutes for our next guest to join, and he'll be here anyway. So yeah, thank you so much for being such a lovely people here. Yeah. Hi, Didit sir.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. How are you?
I am doing well too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining today. And we are glad to have you as a final speaker. We are good that we have you here. So, what do you think about AI for India?
Well, that's a fantastic initiative. I hope, how's it going? I hope you're going to break the records, but really looking forward to see what's the outcome.
Thank you so much, sir. And we had a lot of speakers who has brought a lot of yesterday we had guest speakers. We had the whole team of AICT, and so they were very much supportive of what they have done so far. And today we had few speakers who enlightened us a lot on artificial intelligence, the ethical AI that has influenced our whole world with their technology, and in medical field too. So I'm glad that you are here, sir.
It's absolutely my pleasure. Happy to support this initiative, and as I said, it's going to be, I think, impacting a lot of students and young professionals' life. So looking forward to that.
Thank you so much, sir. So we have Dheeraj sir, who is part of the GitHub, and he has done a lot of technical innovations, and he has been into the team where innovation and AI has been a very definite part of it. So we would like to hear a few things about you, and then we will start for the session, sir.
Sure. So actually, I have a presentation also. So let me know if whenever you want me to present that.
Yeah, you can go ahead, sir.
Okay, let me share my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen.
I think, yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah, great. So yeah, so as I said, I think it's a fantastic opportunity, and thank you so much for inviting me to this awesome initiative. I'm really looking forward to the outcomes, and how many students are getting benefited out of it, how many young professionals are learning more about AI and what's happening in the real world. But today my talk is more around the core of all of us, and in fact, the whole core of software development, which is actually you, the developers, developing solutions for the world that we live in, developing solutions that impact human race, and developing solutions which actually are giving us the right ROI, which are agile, and ultimately enabling all of us to take that required leap in our careers. And this year has been it has been a very, very different year, but imagine what technology has done, or it could have done. We had apps coming from developers for contact tracing, for self-assessments, for predicting the next COVID hotspots, to analyzing demand and supply for medicines and groceries. Just take a pause and think how much extra effort this would have taken for people who are used to be in office environment while developing and coding. But we saw the world rallying together for solving things which are impacting lives of our loved ones and the most near and dear ones in a very, very serious way. And all this happened in record time and speed. Now, we really need to be ready for something like this, and obviously get better at it with all the learnings that are in place. Not saying that this could be or it should be repeated, but as tech enthusiasts, we need to be geared up for something really life-shaking like this.
It's an opportunity, sir. Being here, I mean, the developers are maybe they are at home for the past 1 year, and they're still counting. And this is a time where they are in a need. Like necessity is the mother of invention. So here is what we are going to take a step, not once, but we will take a leap towards tomorrow. And I personally would like to know, as being a director, as being an official who's handling GitHub. So I would like to know, what are the changes that GitHub has done?
Well, it's so surprising that we always have been saying GitHub is a remote working company. And this is there since beginning of since when GitHub was established. GitHub is, the core of GitHub is open source. The core is collaboration. Core is, people around the world coming together and forming great products and great softwares. I joined GitHub in middle of pandemic, in middle of lockdown last year. I joined GitHub in July. And this is unimaginable for me, when joining a new company, completely new environment, absolutely working from home, not meeting any colleagues face to face, no interaction. But it was also seamless and smooth because the GitHub systems and cultures are so friendly to remote working. Now, obviously, what we have seen is that there was a total lockdown from our customers, from our communities, with the developers, and the engagement on GitHub went so high when the lockdown was in place. So since then, while technologically we always were, well, we were always ready for remote working and people collaborating across the world. But I think what change we have seen is that we have seen far more enthusiasm, far more engagement on the platform happening. And since then, some of our new products and more techniques that we have been launching are more towards that.
Thank you, sir. I think GitHub has done a great job, and we are looking forward for many such changes. And to be happy, we have reached like 1.4 lakhs of people who have completed right now, and it's still counting for the day. We are about to close around 6 o'clock, and we will have a jury who will decide on what is the results. So thank you so much for joining, sir. You can actually go ahead with your session, sir. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. But yeah, so again, talking from the core, I want to talk more about developers. And moving forward, you'll see that when we talk about technology being pervasive, or it is across the field, industries and functions, you have seen, and we all have seen, that the software usage is growing exponentially, and that is driving digital transformation and fueling our economies. Our banks are becoming remote yet safe. Cars are becoming more smarter, but driver friendly. Medical care is predicting the possible ailments and taking timely care of ourselves. And we are building solutions to tackle climate change, food shortages, and really protecting our planet. But the most importantly, for me, is that the tech is helping techies and individuals with solutions to track our mental and physical well-being, and also being helping us to be more productive, in such difficult environments. The digital disruptors from all these industries, whether we talk about Netflix, we talk about Airbnb, we talk about Ubers, they have all risen to be the industry leading positions that they hold today. The competitive landscape has moved from physical to digital experiences. Further, today, it's no longer the disruptors, and we are also seeing many leading traditional companies making significant investment in digital experiences. And this is a very interesting slide, that the digital experiences are the new battleground, as the most superior digital experience results in higher customer satisfaction. We have today in India and around the world, we have so many examples where we have similar products being offered on a digital platform. But what really attracts customers is how well that has been designed, or what is the customer experience that we are providing. And that is clearly gives the edge on every platform. So this is obviously being driven by developers like you and all of you, who are now ensuring that the customer experience is great, and only that leads to growth in the company and better results for the organization. And it's a repeatable recipe. Digital disruptors have realized that by shipping faster, you can not only deliver few results and fix bugs more quickly, but also you can learn faster than the market what your customers like and what they don't like. Things like A/B testing, things like feature flags to roll out new features, and use data-driven approaches to learn from customer behavior, which paths to pursue, so on and so forth. So there is a lot to be done there. And again, coming back to the core, and I'm going to come back to the developers again and again. This is a statistic which I came across, and I wasn't surprised, to be frank. But it confirms that the demand for building software applications is growing much faster in the traditional industries. Digital transformation is obviously real and has been accelerated during the pandemic. But developers are at the heart of digital transformation, and this is pushing the growth for developer populations faster outside of tech than within tech industries. And I'm sure that there will be a lot of students on the call today, and for students who are thinking that doing their majors in energy or healthcare or management will distance yourself from technology. I would say think again, because all these industries, all these non-tech industries are being disrupted in a big way, and being technology unsavvy is not going to help you. Again, some projections on the demand supply in the next few future years, and over the next decade, demand of skilled workers will outstrip supply by 85.2 million global talent shortage. And the expected financial impact of that is going to be $8.5 trillion, which is, equivalent to a combined GDP of Japan and Germany. A very interesting analysis came from the World Economic Forum about the shift in job types. The number of jobs destroyed will be surpassed by the number of jobs created. And these are going to be the jobs for tomorrow created in a way. And this is in contrast to previous years where job creation was slowing down because of a lot of other things. And this also states that by 2025, 85 million jobs may be displaced by a shift in division of workforce between humans and machines. While 97 million new roles may emerge that are more adapted to the new division of workforce between humans, machines, and algorithms. Indications from all these reports are clear. Tech-oriented jobs are going to be in huge demand and will continue to struggle to find the right talent in the industry. And when we sort of deep dive into tech, 80 to 90% of software is being built on open source today, which means being skilled on open source software development, collaboration, contribution, and maintaining will be another critical area to be in the game. Our mission, GitHub's mission is to clearly help you to get there, to get you there. We'll help you with the right tools and practices to ship fast with confidence, to tighten feedback loops, deliver delightful customer experience, and drive business results. And we obviously that we work with millions of enterprise developers and know what it takes to deliver success for modern software development teams. We'll make your developers productive and happy and collect telemetry to improve your products. You get to spend even more of your time understanding your customers, improving existing products, and building new ones. There's a famous quote by Peter Drucker where he says, "Culture eats strategy for breakfast," and obviously we all agree. That's why we have taken the next leap and we have infused collaborative culture elements and best practices into design of our products and fully recognize the transformations are equal part of technology and culture. I just want to reiterate the fact that on how GitHub is developed by millions of developers and thousands of open source communities. Enterprise customers are obviously, a big focus that we have, and hundreds of ISV ecosystem partners. And, we clearly are the most secure, most hardened, most scalable, and most reliable platform for software development. We support all developers from individual maintainers with free public and private repos at github.com and thousands of developers via GitHub Enterprise. And it's so satisfying to see that tech startups and large traditional organizations all are leveraging GitHub and collectively bringing a more inclusive representation of the world. And the learnings are same across. First, ship faster, experiment and learn faster. Second, focus on innovation and differentiation. Third, push new code with confidence and securely. And finally, grow your development teams by embracing a culture of learning and growth. These are the four key learnings that we have got, by working across the customers, as I mentioned. And I truly want to say that, GitHub is the platform for your rapid innovation. We have 4 pillars that are powered by community that helps you innovate, act on new opportunities, and meet your career and professional goals. And I personally, and I'm sure you would have heard about it, I love to call software development as the world's largest team sport. This means not just collaborating on code, whether it is in team, on as an inner source or on open source, but collaborating across the tool chain and lifecycle. And we have invested in building a platform around harnessing the collective wisdom of billions of users in a way, where contribution by one user benefits many and thousands of other users. I'll sort of end my presentation here, but before I end, 2 important things there which I wanted to sort of introduce you to. I believe there will be a lot of students and a lot of learners and a lot of people who are still pursuing their learning and education. I want you to actually visit our education.github.com page. We have 6 programs that that are relevant for teachers, for students, and for institutions. GitHub Education is one of the most loved division or the vertical within GitHub. The whole idea is that how do we make students more industry ready? How do we prepare them for what's happening in the future? And at the same time, while they are students, we give them, or we give you the whole industry experience while being in colleges and schools around the world. So please do have a look at our page and do apply, do subscribe to the products and services that we offer. All 100% of our products and offerings for students and for education are free of cost. We do not charge. In fact, because of our partnership with this initiative, you can go and subscribe to the Student Developer Pack as well. So do log on to the event website and avail that. And finally, last month we have announced these 3 programs which are totally made for India, and this is the first time where GitHub has announced something very, very low, very specific or very relevant for a local geography or for a country like India. And there are these 3 wonderful programs for all of you who are tech enthusiasts, who are developers. First one is the GitHub Grants program. So if you are contributing, if you are maintaining an open source project, if you are working on an open source project, you should apply for this grant program. GitHub is giving a grant of 1 crore rupees right now. And we are asking maintainers and software developers working on open source projects to come and apply. If we find their work relevant, you are eligible to get that grant where we are going to award multiple people overall grant of 1 crore Indian rupees. The second program that we announced was GitHub Accelerate. Now, this is totally designed for the needs of startups in India. So a lot of startups in India, they want to experiment, but in the initial stages, you don't have money, you don't have a lot of technical tools, you don't have tech tools, and you want to sort of develop your product faster. And that's where open source comes in and helps you to collaborate with developers and so technology enthusiasts worldwide, and GitHub will enable that. So we are offering a lot of incentives to startups under this Accelerate program. So do have a look up on this one on our website. And finally, GitHub Externship. This has been designed for students in their 3rd year or pre-final year of their program, of their courses. We are giving you opportunities to do an internship, a fellowship with leading technology companies in India and around the world, actually. You get an opportunity to work with these companies for 3 months on a project, and you obviously get mentored by GitHub experts, by the company mentors. And the best part is that this is going to be paid stipend. There is going to be a stipend that we are giving to all these students who are going to be part of the externship program. So do look at our websites, check that whether you're eligible. And if you are eligible, please do. I'll highly motivate all of you to go and apply. And that's where I want to end my talk today, and I'll open it up in case there are any more questions. But throughout my talk, I was sort of talking about the developers, the core of software development, and I truly believe that there is no job title or role that is less important. But we have sort of always grown up knowing that there are a few handful noble professions in the world. Professions which are there for greater good of mankind, doctors, armed forces, scientists, and many more. But I want you to think about two things. One, think about the integral role that tech is playing in enabling each of these professions today, especially in today's time. And second, who are the people behind tech innovation, which are fueling these noble professions and beyond? And that's each one of you, the developers who are tirelessly innovating with their codes and writing the future of their countries and the world. So I'll end my talk here, but all I'll say is that you guys are doing a fantastic job. There are technologies which are going to be changing the world and changing how we are going to actually be living in this world. Make use of that. Do not reinvent. Use open source. Use GitHub, and leverage the innovation which is already there in the world. Thank you. I'll end my talk here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, dear sir. So not only just developers, you have said like in a common interest, there are going to be a lot of changes, which we are damn sure about it. But when it hits the common humanity, we are gonna, like we already have spoken a lot of time today and yesterday, that there is a huge change in the medical industry. There is a huge change in the banking industry. There is huge change in the way how the world is looking forward to move. So here, is there any thought that you would like to say to the new developers or people who would like be wondering what AI is? Will that be suitable for their job roles? Because you once said that it doesn't matter if we are technically we know, but it is definitely going to affect our life in one way or the other. So anything you would like to say further, as you have brought the externship of that was wonderful to know. A lot of people will be benefited, a lot of students will be benefited, startups. So I would like to know, you as being an top level management, you would like to say for the interns or for the students who are pursuing for this?
Yeah, I think talking from today's times, where one, there is a lot of I would say chaos, if that's the right word, outside the world, and there's a lot of expectation from technology or people in tech. When I open my social media today, if I open my Twitter timeline, all I see is cries for help. People asking for medical assistance, people asking for life-saving situations. Now, there are a lot of questions being, which are being posed, that why couldn't we forecast a lot of these things, few months back? And that is where technologies like AI come into play, where how can you really be ready, forecast what is going to happen, and be ready for it. Now, again, going back to my presentation, where our key learnings was that how are you shipping things faster? And even if let's say we take out this current situation where obviously we need to ship things or we need to develop things faster, but even in normal times, the expectation from technology industry is very clear that the turnaround time needs to be very, very short. Now, on one hand, you have some great technologies like AI, which can enable you, which can really equip you to do some wonderful stuff, starting from forecasting to building models on what's going to happen to impact analysis, a lot of things. On the other hand, if you use, again, it's a shameless plug on GitHub, but let's say, you use platforms like GitHub. There are other platforms also, but don't reinvent the wheel. That's what I will sort of urge to all the young developers and students, that you don't need to sort of rewrite those codes. There are codes which are available on platforms today. on GitHub today. Somebody has already written it around the world. Use those and build on top of it. And create that edge. So that is what I'll sort of urge everybody, that use technologies, obviously use these futuristic technologies, but don't reinvent the wheel. Use the fundamental base and build on top of it and come out with some great offerings and unique offerings, obviously.
Thank you so much, Dheeraj sir. So we would like to thank you for the opportunity that you have given for a lot of people here to know what actually GitHub has done, what technology has done in the industry. And we are glad that you were part of our AI for India 1.0. Thank you so much for participating. And I hope this is already live, guys. This was an event where you guys had such wonderful guests, such people who are technically like uplifted. They have a lot of knowledge in the industry. They have come forward to share their knowledge, and this was a wonderful event. As a personal host, I would definitely like to thank you, sir, and thank each one of the people who joined us so far. And yes, sir, thank you so much for joining. And we will be looking forward from you such wonderful speeches sometimes that you can give for our own students. Guvi, as you already know, it's an IIT incubated education tech platform. We have nearly like a lot of like 5 lakh users we had, but now we had touched nearly like 10. And we are happy that this count is going to increase, and we are going to touch each and every individual student and the people who are interested to learn, even from the IT industry and non-IT industry. We are very thankful for you to take part in this, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really love this initiative, loved being here, and all the best to everybody.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Stay safe. Thank you, sir. So guys, I hope you had wonderful speeches, wonderful talks, and moreover, to be honest, you guys won't be getting much of to see these people here who were part of today's talks, and they have given a lot of insight. Like it's not simple to get an interview from them, but they have shared their knowledge. They are very much interested to take the world from where we are, a struggling place, I would say, from there to somewhere where we desire we would like to be. So thank you so much for being a lovely, patient, and very wonderful audience. Thank you so much for being the part of AI for India 1.0. And we are yet counting on the numbers, and 1.4 lakh users have already completed their courses. And still you have time, guys. If you haven't completed it, try to make it before 6 o'clock. We will definitely be having an short but very descriptive kind of results, which will be coming back around like 6 o'clock. Thank you so much for staying with us, and thank you so much for each and every guest from Sudarshan sir, from Sai Shruti, and we had Dheeraj sir, we had Utpal sir. Every one of them were really great, really sweet guests here. Thank you so much, guys. Just stay tuned, and we are fingers crossed. We will be counting it around 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock to see what's the results. Thank you so much, guys. Stay tuned. Thank you, guys. So actually, there is 1.5 hours nearly like to start the next session, and we are yet live. So just not want to disturb your timings or want to keep you waiting. It will be nice if you guys could join around like 6 o'clock. We will be live again, and we will be glad to have the jury of Guinness World Record, and they will be sharing the results. We are really excited for that, and all of our teammates are working like 1 month. They have put all their efforts, and they're still working on the same. And we are supporting for the students and people who are still doing their courses. So all the best, guys. Make sure that you complete for 6 o'clock, and we will be back then. Thank you so much. Just stay tuned. Go to Gooey's portal. We will be live around 6 o'clock, 6:15. Definitely, we will be making around like we will have a lot of things to discuss. It will be very short, but still useful. And I'm very curious how we are going to do this. Thank you so much, guys. So we will end the session here, and we will be back by 6. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for being lovely audience. Thank you so much.